behind their centre forward Ilizor Mayenda. The referee today is Anthony Taylor. The VAR official will be Michael Salisbury, who I understand is up on the TV gantry and will be watching today's game. Adam Yates, the former Vale defender, alongside me today for full match commentary. Adam, you've played in FA Cup ties, you've played against sides like this. What have you got to get right? First 10 minutes, how have you got to go about your business?
You can't make any silly errors, and don't get rolling the ball back to your goalkeeper on this bubbly pitch. Put it into the corners and get up the pitch. Keep a good line, keep a good shape, stay professional. Early goals can sometimes kill a cup tie. I know you mentioned the Arsenal one. Vale are up against it, against some real quality opposition, but there is an opportunity in this 90 minutes for Vale to go and score goals, and they've just got to take them.
We are underway here at Vale Park in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and Vale immediately push Sunderland back and they get a goal kick. Be interested to see what they're doing. You can see the messages already is that Ethan Archer and Ben Waine will be pushing up high when Sunderland try to play out from the back, as they thought they were going to do there, and play a short goal kick. And Archer and Waine both went up on the edge of the penalty area. As it is, the goalkeeper now, Melke Elborg, will go long and take the kick up towards the opposite end of the pitch. Connor Hall returns it with a ball out towards the left, looking for Ethan Archer, brings the ball down well. He's got Geertruida on top of him. Back now to Funzo Ojo, clips one over the top for Brown to try and run onto here, and he's got him between the two centre-backs, and he's causing a bit of a problem, and Alderete has to tap the ball out with his right foot, and it's a Vale corner.
Well, that's I think why Dejan Brown's on the side. You see that run there. He gets across firstly Ballard, and ends up getting into an area where he's in behind the back four of Sunderland, and wins a corner. So you can see that already that pace and that running in behind is going to be a threat for Vale.
Archer's corner then, right-footed in, swinging, not bad, looking for Waine, not cleared, bouncing down, and the keeper got really in a tangle there. It came, I think, off Dejan Brown's head as it bobbled through a forest of players and then dropped onto the pitch. And I think the goalkeeper may have even there, Adam, been a little bit deceived by the bounce of the ball on what is a pretty kind of muddy and bobbly goalmouth. I think that was why he struggled to catch that.
Well, I think it bobbles through and he loses his footing as well. There's no pace on it for him to really be troubled, but yeah, he comes through bodies, he has to react, loses his footing. It's an easy one for him to take, but I'm just talking about those set plays. Vale have to make sure that they're a threat from set plays.
Alderete goes long now, looks for the run there of the number 7 Talby, who's popped up on the left with Angulo playing on the right, as Waine chases a through ball from Brown, who dropped deep, cleared by the goalkeeper. Ojo wins the header in the centre circle, bumped clear by Ballard, returned with interest by Kyle John. Brown chasing, but Sunderland bring the ball down. Ballard, though, out to the right to Geertruida, and Ethan Archer chases him down there, and Walters will get penalised for a push there on the back of the number 28 Enzo Lefebvre. But you can see the game plan, Adam. Press high.
Well, when the ball's been rolled back to a goalkeeper, and I keep talking around the fact that it bobbles all over the place, you can see how uncomfortable the goalkeeper Elborg has been. He actually just shovels a pass. I think it's Lefebvre who does outstandingly well in the middle of the pitch, just gets all of it and bounces it back, and then it's Rhys Walters gives a free kick away. But Vale have to try and press high up the pitch when that type of thing happens.
That was an awkward one there for Gabriel and Walters to try and control. It was picked up by Lefebvre, who then tried a pass in between Humphreys and Kyle John for Mayenda, but it was well read by Cameron Humphreys, who had to touch the ball out for a corner for the away side. Their first of the game here. 3 and a bit minutes gone on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds. Port Vale 0, Sunderland 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Corner will now be coming in, right-footed in towards the back post. Gauci gets a punch to it, but not very clear, and headed against the post by the number 12 there, Mayenda. Gauci did not get a lot on that punch at all. Headed it right down into the path of Mayenda, who looked like he couldn't miss, but headed against the post and then cleared by Waine and out for another corner.
Yeah, unconvincing from Gauci. Comes out. I think he's eager to come out and punch it, but completely missed it. It's a real let-off. We talk about staying positive in the first 10 minutes and not making stupid decisions. Joe Gauci's got away with one there, clearly.
Lefebvre it will be to take the corner. The referee is having a word with, I think, Alderete and one of the Vale players. I think Cameron Humphreys. just having a quiet chat with Kyle John as well, who will be relishing a game like this, you would think, as Anthony Taylor, the referee, is now just making sure everything is calmed down before the corner is taken. He's not sufficiently happy yet. I also think he's not particularly happy with the actions in front of the goalkeeper either, and he's going to keep an eye on that, because I think Geertruida is blocking off Gauci. Another corner whipped in, awkward, not cleared by Vale, all the way out to 09 on the edge of the penalty area. Crosses back into the box. Ballard goes down. Connor Hall's got to take it away from the onrushing defender and does, but he's on his wrong side. Tries to clear it down the line and he'll find Archer. Tries to get away from his man, but then too many blue shirts are back to take advantage of him, and it will be a throw to the Vale. But at one point, Adam, it looked like the defending wasn't going to work out for them, but Connor Hall then ended up doing quite well. Yeah,
he does really well, Connor Hall. He stays firm and he doesn't dive in. He wins the ball, and then he has to find Ethan Archer, who, have to say, does incredibly well again, because he's just running down a dead alley, a dead end. He's got two Sunderland players behind him and ends up winning his side a throw-in.
Nice touch there by Mayenda to take it away from Ojo. Clip forward by Humphreys looking for Wayne. 09 goes down, and that will be a foul, and Ben Wayne is a little bit aggrieved with the assistant referee and feels that 09 made the most of that, as that ball was clipped over the top by Humphreys, and he and Wayne were just grappling with one another. We can have a look at the replay. There wasn't anything in that, Adam. You see the replay, he's just got his arms on 09's shoulder, and when he feels the contact, he goes down.
Yeah, it's a soft one, isn't it? Sometimes I suppose you're more likely to get those types of free kicks. That's how you go, but you know, even in League One, you'd say that's a really, really soft one for the referee to give.
Alderete now out wide to the left to Talby, the number 7, and now Alderete against Sunderland trying to recycle the ball back into their own half. Can't say that Vale haven't had a go at them early doors, but Sunderland have threatened as well, particularly with corners. Clipped over the top now looking for Talby. Kyle John meets it with a header. He'll come out to Gabriel just outside the penalty area on the right, opens his body up and tries to run. Take him on for pace. Past one, past another. Showed too much of it to 09 though, who slams his foot through it, and it goes all the way out to the far side for a goal kick. But Jordan Gabriel there maybe saw the whites of the eyes and thought, I'll have a go.
Well, he's got nothing else on. I don't think there's a running behind for him to hit. Ben Wayne tries to come short, but just can't get it. I don't think Jordan can get it into his feet, so he just pushes it past and run, and then you see looking 9 and just go try and completely clear it out, but more positive play from Jordan.
It also kind of looks a bit like at times here a 4-3-3 for the Vale, with Gabriel pushing up on into midfield, but we'll see how that unfolds. Goal kick is returned by Sunderland, headed forward. Connor Hall had to do a bit of work there. He wanted Joe Gauci to come back for that, he wouldn't, and Gauci's cleared up towards Walters, who is trying to clip it forward looking for Wayne. Lefay will get there first, it'll break into the centre circle. Ojo charges down Ballard, but the ball ricochets out to Geertruida out wide on the right. He'll touch it out via Archer, and it'll be a throw. Funzo Ojo looks like he's enjoying himself today.
Well, he's getting after people. That's probably not the strongest part of his game, but I think he's got to do that this afternoon, and you can immediately see what that does, because the fans straight off the feet, they see a Vale player rattling into a tackle, and it just gets the crowd going. You know, we need as many of those challenges this afternoon as we can.
8 minutes gone here at Vale Park. BBC Radio Stoke on all frequencies and BBC Sounds this afternoon. Port Vale 0, Sunderland 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. 09 and Wayne shoulder to shoulder as 09 advances into the Vale half, tries to get a cross in. Well marshalled by Gabriel and Wayne though, and the two of them combined well. 09 had got plenty of room to scamper forward there and did so. Got deep into the Vale half and then tried to put a cross in, which Gabriel deflected out, but fair play to Wayne for sticking with him. Well,
he's got to track his man, Ben Wayne, and we know he does that. He works hard, he does his job defensively, and that's going to be arguably the biggest part of this afternoon, how Port Vale defend and track runners.
Long throw by 09 in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, comes off Connor Hall's head, and Sunderland trying to let it go out for a corner. Work back in, Connor Hall skewed clearance, smashed back in there by Angulo, but cleared by Vale. Ojo was the furthest forward and will give chase, but Vale have just looked a little unconvincing at times in defending set pieces, because Sunderland's quality on those is really, really good, and there's a huge importance on particularly Humphreys and Connor Hall, is the biggest of the back three, to be dominant in the air today?
I think everybody's got to be. I think it's important that you're locked onto your men. There's no free headers. You want that contact, irrespective of who you are in that Vale shirt and who you're marking. There are going to be times where you've got to put your head in places where you probably don't particularly want to, but set plays from an attacking perspective are so important for us, but defensively as well, because the quality that's coming in so far from Lafay has been outstanding.
Kyle John hooking the ball forward and looking for Wayne. 09 gets the better of him, and it's cleared by Alderete up to the centre circle. Well done, Connor Hall. Got up above Talby there to win the header, and then Vale work it back to Kyle John. He's got Gabriel out wide to the right. Talby goes to close him down. Now Walters on the halfway line, wide on the right. Needs some help here, hasn't really got it. Goes back to Gabriel. Nice touch from Gabriel to take it off Talby, and then a challenge comes in from Lafay, and it will be a throw for the Vale. But Walters, encouragingly, looks to have made a good start, Adam.
Well, he always comes and gets the ball, and he's not afraid to get it in the tight. He's generally, the way he keeps the ball is outstanding. The way he uses his body, and I think what we need to probably see a little bit more from Reece is a few more forward passes. But like you just said, he's made a good start so far.
Gabriel again trying to work the ball forward, cleared by Sunderland. Connor Hall meets it, header up towards Brown, who's midway inside the Sunderland half. Sunderland get it clear, and now Angulo trying to get away from Hall, shrugs him off, uses his strength well, takes off down the right, looks to punt it forward, looking for the run of Mayenda. Liam Gordon put a boot out. It'll go out for a Sunderland corner, but the concern is, Adam, is that when they do get the ball and they play it to feet Sunderland, it moves really, really quickly, and they've always got a runner. Well,
I think Angulo does brilliantly in the middle of the park. He's such tight space. He just shifts it really quickly and goes past. I think it's Funzo Ojo in the first instance, and then you're looking at the run of Mayenda, who gets down the side of Connor Hall. I think it's nudged out in the end by Gordon, but like you just said, the pace and the runs and behind the timing of the runs and the weight of the pass has been really impressive so far from Sunderland.
It'll be Rigg, will it? Or it's 09 with this corner. Drives it in, that's awkward. Gauchi up, really good take from the goalkeeper. Had to lean back for that one as well, as it was driven in with pace by 09 with the left foot, and it was really awkward for him to try and gather, but a really good take from the goalkeeper. And Vale restart quickly now, out wide to the left, and it's Ojo. Centre field now to Reece Walters. Gabriel out wide to the right, but he says go short to Kyle John. Kyle John tries to whip it forward, looks for Dejon Brown, who did well to get first touch on it, but then in trying to turn, allowed 09 space on the ball to turn away from it. But Sunderland have over-elaborated, and Wayne now takes off down the right. He's done well here, Ben Wayne. He's under some pressure. He'll go down, and the assistant referee, not convinced that was a free kick. Sunderland trying to play out from the back now. Diarra back to Alderete in the penalty area, and now they will calm down and try and get things clear. But that element of being in Sunderland's face is something that you want to see a lot of.
They need to do it for as long as they can. I mean, they're not going to be able to do it for 90 minutes. It's going to be really difficult to keep that pace up and that pressure up, but the earlier they can do it in the game, you see what the crowd do. It lifts the crowd, it lifts the players.
Lafay now to Rigg, out wide on the left for Sunderland, midway inside the Vale half. 09 spreads it across the halfway line to Ballard, and he will now touch it infield to Alderete, who's in the centre circle. 13 gone here on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds, and Vale 0-0. Gabriel wins the ball back, does well, finds Brown, looks to try and touch it ahead of him. 09 though comes back and wins it, and Gabriel's made a good start. He's won plenty of tackles down that right side for Vale. Perhaps just going forward he needs to improve that final ball. That's not a great ball though from Sunderland, and Brown has picked it up in the centre circle. He's all on his own, tries to shield the ball, pushed off it by Alderete, and I'm not sure he knew what to do with it when he got it there.
I'm not sure he got that many options though either. I think the difficulty is it's a really sloppy ball from Angulo. He just not really played into anyone, and Dejon Brown lucky enough to capitalise on it, but there's nothing in front of him, and he ends up running down a bit of a blind alley. But again, I just think Sunderland, they look a little bit lackadaisy. There's some good play from them, but at other times I think they're taking not disrespectful to Vale, but probably taking Vale's pressing for granted.
Vale have conceded a throw. Ethan Archer chasing down Ballard. Sunderland have a throw now. Geertruida to take it. It's about 8-10 yards inside the Vale half. inside their own half on the right. Taking his time over at Geertruida. Anthony Taylor's telling him to get on with it. Throws it in the middle to Lefay, who's very good on the ball. Ojo puts in a tackle. Now Diarra trying to turn away from Gordon. Spread now by Lefay out towards the right, looking for Talby, but well intercepted by Jordan Gabriel, who takes the ball on and will keep going, and then takes a bad second touch, which shows too much of it to Alderete, who keeps it in play. But fair play to Jordan Gabriel, who sprinted down that right side. He's made a very good start.
Yeah, a really positive start for him. I think he's relishing the challenge. He knows that he's got to get as tight as he can to Talby, because he's obviously got that bit of quality and that bit of pace. But Jordan's a big, powerful lad. He knows how to deal with those types of players. He's had a good career so far already, and played against some real quality opposition week in, week out, and obviously come from Forest Academy. So he's so positive with his play.
Gauci goes long with his kick after a back pass from Cameron Humphreys, but Geertruida gets it back, plays it in towards Angulo. Vale get it back on their left now. Archer midway inside his own half, out wide on the left touchline to Gordon, goes back to Connor Hall. The game being played at a fairly decent pace. Vale just trying to keep Sunderland at bay when they can, but they're not being unambitious about going forward. Lefay well intercepted though by Ojo, did well, and then Walters won it back and turned away from Rigg, and now Gabriel wide on the right to Walters again. Funzo Ojo looks like he's willing to throw himself around a bit today, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we know how he controls games. I'm just looking at the touchline, and John Brady's going absolutely ballistic at Dejon Brown, because Jordan Gabriel gets that ball there. He needs a running behind. Dejon's got to run across the line and dart in behind to give him something to hit into the channel and stretch Sunderland, but Dejon just doesn't do it, and he's right, the manager, Jordan Gabriel needs that running behind.
Sunderland throw about 10 yards inside the Vale half on the right. Geertruida now back to Ballard deep inside his own half. Sunderland not afraid to go back into their own half to try and recycle the ball, but when you're a Premier League side and you can keep it as well as they can, they have no fear about doing that. Ballard now out wide to the right to Geertruida, and Archer going and pressing him. Vale trying to keep a good shape off the ball. They are at times kind of like 5-4-1 when they're out of possession, which is kind of how they ground out that result at Northampton a few weeks ago. Alderete goes long over the top looking for Talby. That's way too near to Gauci, and Vale will claim it. And John Brady said he liked the look at times of that 5-4-1, and out of possession, even against a team like this, it doesn't really give them much scope, does it, to try and break Vale down?
No, it doesn't, but like I said, the longer you can stay in it, then you might be able to be a bit more open for the last 15-20 minutes of the game. What can't happen is balls just being lumped aimlessly up to Dejon Brown, because he's not going to win any headers against the two big centre halves, but those balls into the channel where I said before, he's screaming at Dejon to just curve his run and bend one into the channel to give Jordan an outlet. That's where they've got to utilise his pace.
Vale now trying to push Sunderland back. Geertruida out wide to Ballard deep inside his own half, hits one over the top looking for the run of Angulo, cleared by Connor Hall. Brown and Geertruida get involved again, comes off Brown, and it'll go out for a Sunderland throw, more or less on the halfway line on the right. 18 gone here on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds, and it's 0-0. Vale trying to push Sunderland back as Angulo chases that back pass from John to Gauci. Gauci clears it. Wayne trying to compete with 09 to win it, and in the end comes away for Talby, and Talby again felt the merest of touches on his back from Wayne, and that will be a free kick. And we don't want to stereotype the Premier League here, but it is apparent that any type of contact results in a player going down in a free kick.
Well, Talby's looking for it. He knows that he's probably running towards a touchline with absolutely no opportunity to find a player or sort of turn and run down the line, because Jordan Gabriel's got a good position. Ben Wayne, maybe a little bit naively, allows that contact to come, and like you just said, he goes down Talby far too easily, but these get given.
Free kick by Lefay out over towards the right side. The referee blew up there, and it was Geertruida Diarra who was the guilty party. Not sure what he'd spotted there.
Well, the linesman hasn't flagged, and looking at the replay, we're lucky enough to have some cameras in front of us for a replay. I think the referee might have been just having a bit of a bit of a word before the free kick come in to one of the Sunderland centre halves. I think it was Alderete, and then all of a sudden, as soon as that free kick's taken, he's blown straight up.
We do have VAR, of course, today, which will be something for us to get to grips with. Sunderland go long towards the right. Connor Hall shields the ball from Mayenda, and it will go out. You ever commentated on a game with VAR in it?
Never. I don't think we've ever had one at Port Vale, have we?
No, I don't think so. But you're looking forward to waiting 10 minutes before somebody decides if it's gone in or not?
I think the opportunity early on in the game, I know we didn't talk about it in commentary because it was probably just a little bit late when I saw it, but they were looking at the header that hit the post. I think the question was whether Carl John handballed it, which obviously VAR was involved in, and ultimately was a no. But the delay on it was that the referee had obviously got a bit of a word in his ear to just hang fire until it had been assessed.
Well, they are looking at that. We do have some monitors. I must stress they're not ours. We haven't put your licence fee up, so we've got VAR monitors today, but we have got the BBC TV monitors in front of us, and they are showing some replays, and Kyle John had just taken the ball out of play there after Gauchi's pass, and John had struggled to control it initially. I think the pitch again worked against him, so Sunderland have possession back deep inside their own half. Diarra, who has dropped in between the two centre-backs, as Ballard and Alderete have gone either side of him, and that's trying to get 09 and Geertruida pushed further up the pitch to try and cause Vale trouble. Mayenda, good work from Cameron Humphreys though, who'd followed him well up the pitch, took the ball away from him, and Connor Hall then sent it back to Joe Gauchi, and Vale now back in control. Humphreys out wide to the right to John, midway inside his own half, hits a long one over the top, looks for Dejan Brown, who's the only Vale player on that side of the pitch. 09 completes the clearance. Walters trying to poke it wide to the right for Brown. Brown actually heads it back infield straight to a Sunderland shirt. Walters now trying to turn. Good tackle comes in from Lefay, and Mayenda goes down under Humphreys' challenge, and Mayenda has stayed down here. I think one thing about Lefay, deceptively, he's not the biggest, is he? But he's very, very strong, and you've seen that a couple of times when he's pushed Rhys Walters off the ball.
Yeah, his footwork's just so quick, and he's so agile with it, and you can see he's already maybe one or two steps ahead of the play when it's in, and I think his anticipation in the middle of the park's a big part for him. Yet he's not big, but he certainly competes physically, and then he's just got so much quality on the ball.
Ball back to the goalkeeper, who wasn't fancying it in that first time with a bobble pitch, and Funzo Ojo went to chase him down. Vale pressing high now. Good work from Walters, wins it back, looks to find Wayne on the right, but the touch of the ball didn't help, and Walters went looking for Wayne after he'd intercepted it. Wayne and Walters both felt that the final touch had come off Talby, but the referee said no, and it's a throw to Sunderland midway inside their own half. 22 and a bit gone here on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds. It's Port Vale 0, Sunderland 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It's the first time Vale have been here in 30 years, and they have never reached the quarter-finals since 1954 with that famous team that reached the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Can a little bit of history be made here if they were to do that? It's not actually that long since Sunderland actually lost an FA Cup tie to a lower league side. They were beaten at home to Mansfield in the first round in 21-22 when Mansfield were League 2 and Sunderland were League 1. Good work from Wayne and Gabriel here, putting their foot in, and away they go. Good work from Wayne to Ojo, centre circle now. Sends it to Connor Hall. He's got Gordon to his left. Connor Hall now finds him midway inside the Sunderland half, wide on the left. Now infield to Ojo. Gives it back to Ojo, takes on 2 and 3 and keeps running. Got no white shirts with him, needs some help. Finds it in Gordon, wide on the left. Now Archer looking to ping in one with his right foot if he can from deep. Gets away from his man, drifts in a low ball, looks for Brown, out by Alderete. It'll go out wide to the left to Gordon, who keeps possession. Now Archer and Ojo again out wide on the left. Infield to Humphreys in the centre circle. You can feel the crowd are getting a bit energised by the way Vale are going about their business today. Wayne, heavy first touch, but still gets it back to Gabriel. Gabriel with a left-footed ball, curled over the top, looks for Brown, looked to try and flick it on Vale fans wanted to push on Brown there. The referee says nothing, but the passages of play are pleasing the supporters.
I think that's the first substantial and sustained passage of play that Vale have had. It's I think Ethan Archer ends up putting a cross in. I think he should put it in probably a little bit earlier. He decides to check inside, go to cross it, and then check back again, and I think he's got to just put that into an area. But first time Sunderland have had to defend.
Talby's clipped it across to Rigg. Here it goes to Mayenda at the back post. It was Rigg with a really good cross. It came from Talby, just taking the ball off the Vale defence, played in Rigg, and Rigg's ball across the face of goal went to nothing, but Sunderland are back on the attack now. Angulo out wide on the right, looks to play it in towards the edge of the penalty area, and Vale eventually clear, and Archer just thumps it clear. He looked up, all the white shirts were either level with him or behind him, no one to give it to, so he just went safety first and thumped it up the pitch.
It's the right decision for me. I mean, he doesn't want to get caught there. His team have had to defend a really quick and dangerous passage of play and attack from Sunderland.
Oh, O'Nine's clipped that back over his own goalkeeper. Oh, and the keeper's had to head it over his bar because Ben Waine pursued Luke O'Nine all the way back up the opposite side of the pitch. O'Nine decided to play a back pass to his goalkeeper, but nearly lobbed him, and the keeper Hellborg had to run back towards his own goal and head it back over his own crossbar. It's a bizarre back pass, and it was very nearly a bizarre own goal.
Well, I think the pitch, the ball bobbles up, and Luke O'Nine tries to pass it back. He catches the bottom end of the ball and it's looping over the goalkeeper's head. It's certainly going into the goal. I think the goalkeeper does brilliantly well in the end, Hellborg, to head it over. But we talk about the pitch and the impact it can have on play and passages and crossing and shooting, but that back pass there again, talk about passing back to the goalkeeper on Bobby pitch, just don't do it. But he's got no choice. Look, he does it, and the goalkeeper at Hellborg does brilliantly well in the end.
Archer's corner in, he goes looking for Waine, tries to head it away by Ballard. It'll come out to Ojo. Walters, who might have a go, touches it to Gabriel. Archer out wide on the right, went to try and find him, charged down though by Angulo. Archer picks it up again, gets into the box, looks to try and run onto his man, but good work from Rigg, who will scuff the ball clear, and Archer will let it go out for a corner. Good work by Ethan Archer, but again the crowd are energised by this.
That's all you need. You just need that little bit of pressure, that players rattling into tackles. You see what a difference it makes. I mean, you think that if Vale had been like this all year, they certainly wouldn't be in the position they're in the league. They just seem to find it for the cup games.
Archer now with the corner, driven in low, poor corner from Archer, but scuffed over his own crossbar by Lafay. And there's one or two Sunderland players just out there shaking their heads. They don't look happy, Adam. They don't look comfortable with it.
Well, they're finding it really difficult to trust the pitch. I think that's where they're struggling, purposely. I think the ground staff have left it a little bit longer. It plays into Vale's hands, and already 2 or 3 opportunities have come by. Bit of lackadaisy play from Sunderland.
Gordon to Archer, puts the ball in, looks for Waine. It's headed down. Brown can't get on it. Ben Waine can! And Ben Waine scores! A looping header from Ben Waine over the goalkeeper. Sunderland could not clear their lines from the corner. Archer put it back in, and it fell to the man of the moment, the man who cannot stop scoring, and the man who is suddenly a Port Vale hero. Ben Waine, looping header over the goalkeeper. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0.
Well, it just sums up where Vale are at the moment. Ben Waine rightly gets his goal on. We've talked about set plays and the importance of them, and a bit of quality into the box. I think it's a looping header from Ben Waine. The goalkeeper gets a hand on it. Certainly not enough of a hand, but Vale have deserved it. I mean, yes, there have been pasture play from Sunderland, but Vale have arguably been right in this game. They've had a couple of good opportunities. Again, like I said, that ball goes into the penalty area. You're asking questions of the opposition, and Ben Waine gets his head on it.
Well, we said just beforehand, didn't we, that Sunderland didn't look comfortable, and they didn't look comfortable defending the ball into the box. Never mind it being on the floor, Adam. They just didn't look comfortable when Archer's initial ball went in, and I think it was Connor Hall who got his head to it, tried to head it down for Dejan Brown, but they just didn't really know what to do, did they?
No, they're all over the place. 2 or 3 times set plays, they've looked a little bit tentative, a little bit nervous. They've certainly looked nervous when the ball is in their defensive third and they're passing it and Vale are pressing, but you've just got to keep putting the ball into the box and asking questions, because anything can happen. Just defend properly, but take your opportunities to put good balls into the box from an attacking perspective, and you'll get opportunities, and we see Ben Waine take the early one of the game.
Well. I'll say it again for effect. Well. 29 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Stoke. Pinch yourself. Port Vale 1, bottom of League 1, 11th in the Premier League, Sunderland 0. Now, it's not finished that way yet, but drink it in while you can, because this season has been full of disappointments, but today Vale have responded and they have put Sunderland on the back foot. The away side have a free kick now for a foul on Lafay by Gordon, which he will take just outside the penalty area. Kyle John can't get it clear, but Jordan Gabriel can get it clear. Ballard will chase him. Gabriel just tries to knock it down the right touchline. He will. He'll look for Wayne, the goal scorer. 09 gets there first. Gabriel intercepts it. Comes to Wayne again. Looks to turn 09. Tries to scoot it forward for Gabriel, who made an overlapping run, and 09 got it clear. But what's clear as well is down this right side, Wayne and Gabriel are providing all types of problems for Luke 09 as Dejan Brown charges down a ball and then goes sliding in. That's a yellow card for Dejan Brown after a really nasty looking tackle. A rush of blood to the head from him on Ballard after he lost the ball from a heavy first touch. Second touch ended up being a tackle. Dejan Brown first in the book, but Adam, as we were just saying, the combination down the right of Wayne and Gabriel is giving a real headache for 09.
Yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable looking 09, does he? I mean, he can defend, but he's not great on the ball going forward, and really good defensively and aggressive. But yeah, I think he's struggling with Ben Wayne's pace and Jordan Gabriel's positivity. I'm just looking. I think there's a question over whether it's VAR has gone to that tackle on Dejan Brown.
Well, there is a VAR check, I think, here on the possibility of a red card for Dejan Brown. I'm just having a look. We have got VAR screens in front of me. Joe Gauci, in the midst of all this, has gone down on the edge of the penalty area and is getting some treatment. We are having a look. I think they have not been clear about this, but the screens on this, we're looking at a replay. I don't think that there's going to be any further punishment for Dejan Brown. The referee has certainly not taken any more action. What we are not privy to is the communication between the VAR officials and the match official Anthony Taylor, but I don't think by the looks of it there's going to be any more action taken against Brown for that.
No, I think if there was, the referee would have been making his way over to the touchline and not to Joe Gauci, who's looks like he's down. He's getting a little bit of treatment, but back up to his feet now.
A tactical goalkeeping injury.
It's the cynical part. So a person would say so, Phil?
Yes, well, I'm very cynical. You know that. There is the fourth official. Well, there is a board out. Gary Walsh, the Vale goalkeeping coach, who is in charge of Vale substitutions, is out with the board. I've got a feeling there might be a sub being made here as well. I can't see who it is because the stewards have all swarmed to the edge of the little gantry in front of us, so it's hard to tell on the bench. Joe Gauci was getting treatment. I think he's okay. Gary Walsh would not be out there with that board unless there was a change happening, and we'll have to see it. Vale might be forced into something early doors as Sunderland go long down the left. They looked for Mayenda, and it will be Tyler McGlaw is coming on, and looked like there was a hold there on Brown by Alderete. Tyler McGlaw coming on. This is clearly, there must be an injury in the defence.
I can't see because no one looks like they're moving around gingerly, did he?
No, I'll be interested to see what he does, but Tyler McGlaw will be coming on very shortly unless there's been a message passed on. It would be cruel on the Vale to lose a player at this early stage of the game with just over half an hour gone, particularly at the back as the ball's played over the top here, looking for Diarra. Gauci's come a long way. Oh, and I think, did Gordon get there just in front of him? No, it was Diarra who just got there in front of Gauci and touched it past him, but thankfully it was off target, but so quick that Sunderland can break. I'm trying to spot the number that they keep flashing up on the board.
It's Cameron Humphreys, because he's John Brady's signalling to Cameron Humphreys, are you okay? He's just put his thumb up, so that would have been the change. Just going back to that opportunity again, I think Joe Gauci comes out and gambles on coming out of his penalty box. He's just got to be conscious and let his defenders handle it. He comes out and races. I think it's Diarra that just nudges it past him, thankfully wrong side of the post, but just try and be a little bit more relaxed from Joe. We need a comfortable pair of hands.
Up in the air now from the clearance. Mayenda's done well, won it back. Vale scrapped to try and get the ball back in the centre of midfield. Sunderland trying to move it more quickly now, and have done. Out wide to the right to Angulo. Looks in field now, puts in a low ball, looks for Rigg, cleared by Kyle John. And Vale can't get the lines clear as Sunderland start to show a little bit of that Premier League quality that has got them to position that they are. Alderete out wide to the left to Talby. Gabriel with him as he's level with the edge of the penalty area, wide on the left, comes inside, low right-footed cross, not cleared by Humphreys well, but only as far as Ballard, who touches it back out to the left to Talby again. 11 to go to half-time. Vale leading by a goal to nil here against Sunderland in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Lefay steps away from Walters with a nice little back heel, plays it towards the edge of the box, but well done. Kyle John, who stepped in front of Rigg to get his body in the way, but out to the left, Talby puts in a good-looking cross, taken off the head of Mayenda by Cameron Humphreys, and Mayenda was just waiting to pounce on it. Cameron Humphreys got in front of him and flicked it away. Vale clear, but it's a poor clearance from Gordon, and Sunderland once more in possession again, inside the Vale half. Now Geertruida, the number 6, out wide to the left to Talby again, who's going to have another go at Gabriel. Tries to get it onto his right foot, touches it to 09, looks to put a left-footed cross in, looks high to the back post, kept in play by Angulo, right on the chalk of the byline. He tries to torment Gordon, looks to put a cross back into the box, not actually touching the ball, but lots of body movement. Now Diarra inside the penalty area, right hand side. Vale got everybody back, but Vale have forced them back, and Ballard back to Alderete on the halfway line.
They've certainly upped the pace and the tempo. Sunderland are controlling possession now. Vale have got a good shape and are forcing them to check back, but they're just so quick in terms of the way they're shifting the ball. But real good line from Vale, and they catch Angulo offside.
Yeah, that was good work after Lefay had again stepped away from Walters. When he wants to play, Enzo Lefay, the number 28, he really can play, and he stepped away from Walters there, just popped it through looking for Angulo, but fair play to Connor Hall and Gordon, who both stepped up and had taken him out of the equation and made sure that the assistant referee put his offside flag up. 1-0 then here with just under 10 minutes to go to half-time, plus stoppages on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds. Ben Waine with that goal just before the half-hour mark, and the place lifted off at that moment. It's his 8th goal of the season, and probably one of the most important. Here's Kyle John, back to Gauci, and now out to John again, wide on the right, looks to hit it forward, charged down by Rigg, and one or two of those Sunderland faces, particularly the younger ones, Adam, they're not enjoying this, are they?
I know how good of a player Rigg is and how well he's thought of, but he's been completely anonymous in this first half. I think it's going to be a case, yes, there are times where they're going to lift the tempo and be really dangerous, Sunderland, but Vale just look very comfortable at the moment, don't they?
That's an awkward header from Connor Hall, though, as he tried to squeeze it back into the penalty area, and all it's done is given it to Angulo, who's popped up on the left now for Sunderland, who will have a run at Cameron Humphreys, who's come out a long way to meet him. That means he's not in the middle as Lefay takes over and has 09 to his left. Gabriel goes to close him down. Cameron Humphreys has come way out of the penalty area to deal with the Sunderland movement. Might not be a good idea here, and he stayed out there to try and deal with Lefay. Lefay now to Talby, and Lefay again. Sunderland playing in triangles out wide on the left, and Cameron Humphreys is again popped up out there to try and confront them. Lefay trying to roll it back in towards the edge of the area, and well done Kyle John, who manages to intercept it, and Dejan Brown touches it to Ojo. He's got Archer to his left with a one-on-one if he can find him. Ojo takes the ball himself, touches it to Archer, does he? Ojo might go on his own, then touches it to Archer. Left him far too much to do there. He might have been better playing it to Archer when he had more space on the left. As it was, Sunderland got back in numbers and blocked off the Vale's route to goal.
It's brilliant defending first and foremost. Dejan Brown does well to find Ojo, but I just think Funzo Ojo on another day would look back and think he just got to roll it earlier to Ethan Archer. I think Ethan is fronted up 1v1 with Ballard, who has a big powerful lad and a very good defender, but I'm not sure he'd want to be one-on-one with Ethan Archer in those wide areas.
Throw for the Vale then, about 12 yards away from the corner flag on the left. Hurled into the box looking for Hall, out by Ballard. Gordon gets it, back to Archer, thinking about a cross, cuts it onto his right foot, thinks about a low ball into the box, and it was Brown who stuck out a foot, caught the keeper flat-footed as it bobbled wide of his right hand post, but Sunderland again didn't react. Dejan Brown's got a big smile on his face. I think he knows he maybe had a little bit more time than he thought there, and if he had that time, he might have got that on target.
He tries to adjust his body. I think Ethan Archer comes in and it looks it's a bit of a shot right across the face of the goal, and it's blasted with a lot of pace, but I think Dejan Brown just can't adjust his feet quick enough.
Good work from Ojo, wins the ball back, thought about the cross, still might do so, puts in the ball, looks for Archer, cleared away by Geertruida, picked up by Angulo, Gordon with him, fends him off. Good strength from Geertruida and Angulo then as Talby now picks it up in the centre of the park. But Vale have certainly worried Sunderland in this first half. They put them on the back foot several times. The pace at the top end of the pitch has got Sunderland worried, and it's been a feature of this team that John Brady has put out today that, you know, they have worried Sunderland, haven't they?
Sunderland are just nervous, aren't they? I mean, you can see that there are times where Sunderland win the ball back in their defensive third, and you know you're expecting them to break quickly, but they seem to just slow it right down and start the game again and start the build up of possession again, and maybe that's what they do in the Premier League, but they just don't look like.
That's a poor ball, and Archer's intercepted it. Ojo's done well. Ethan Archer now on the left, might go all on his own. Archer with the shot, charged down by Lefay. Walters will pursue it out wide to the left. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this game just changes like that, doesn't it?
It's again, Sunderland are just so sloppy. I mean, they're getting caught on the ball, and they're playing blind passes in their defensive third or in the middle third of the pitch, and Vale are just on the front foot. They've been first to pretty much everything in this first half. Vale.
Rigg out wide to the right now to Lefay, who pops up all over the pitch, Enzo Lefay, and he'll look to put a cross in here, and then steadies himself and instead goes back, partly because of the way that Vale have managed to condense Sunderland back towards the edge of their own half. Here's Mayenda, tries to take on Humphreys for face and does. Humphreys had a little nibble at his foot there, and I thought had Mayenda gone down he'd have got that. Ball goes back into the box, headed up and away. Gauci will come out and catch it at the second attempt and does well. And well, Vale just had to weather the storm a bit there.
They did. I think Cameron Humphreys gets fronted up 1v1 with the centre forward Mayenda. He's got to try and send him down line. He does, but
that's not a bad ball. Wayne trying to get in the middle of Mayenda. Of Alderete there.
It's just complete end to end. It seems like every time Vale go forward, they're creating an opportunity. Sunderland is so shaky. That ball's just a long clearance, high clearance, but Ben Wayne's chased it right down, and goalkeeper's again, he's not overly convincing.
Here's Angulo. Tackle coming from Connor Hall. Angulo keeps it, and well held by Gauci at his near post from the shot. And Angulo had to do a lot of that on his own. Hit it really, really firmly with his right foot. Looked like it might have even arrowed in at the near post, but Gauci, credit to him, did really well. And then picks out Archer on the right. That looked like a foul there by Geertruida on Archer, and it was. And I mean, Gauci's just criticising himself there for the kick, but we must say, other than the little wobble at the beginning where Sunderland hit the post, a lot of what he's had to do, he's done well.
Well, he's a couple of, maybe once like you said, he comes out and misses the punch, and that's where they hit the post. But other than that, maybe the one rush of blood, but he's been convincing when the ball's been put into areas and he's had to collect through bodies. I mean, he's annoyed himself with the kick there, but it's not too bad. Ethan Archer gets it and wins a free kick. So we enter 43rd minute of the game. I think Vale have had a fantastic first half. I mean, yes, they won up, but the way they performed has been admirable.
Gordon's ball in, looking for Cameron Humphreys again, but just couldn't get in between Ballard and Alderete, who are a bit more powerful than him. And the goalkeeper, Elborg, came out and dealt with it, caught it, and now rolls it out to Ballard wide on the right. As Adam points out, 43 minutes gone here at Vale Park on BBC Radio Stoke. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Ben Wayne with the goal on 28 minutes. A looping header after Sunderland hadn't cleared across into the box. Connor Hall headed it down. Just sat up nicely for Ben Wayne, who saw the keeper a little bit off his line and headed it over him into the back of the net. Clearly a header from a striker who's got a bit of confidence about him, as indeed he has. It's his second goal in the space of a week. And now it's actually 3-3 for him, isn't it? Because he scored against Luton last week. Alderete trying to go long and pick out Mayenda, who hasn't really had much of the ball. The Sunderland centre forward. Dejan Brown's done well, and he's chested it down, hit it on his chest, and then tries to send it forward for Wayne on the right. He's been a complete menace to that Sunderland defence, hasn't he?
It's just his running. He's putting people under pressure with his running, his power, his persistence. His determination to go in and win it in areas or put people under pressure. And we've seen the amount of times Sunderland have given the ball away sloppily because of pressure or because of the pitch. I mean, it's arguably where Vale's most success has come from.
But here comes Diarra down the right for Sunderland, going to take on Humphreys, puts the ball in low, right across the face of goal. It was literally on the end of Mayenda's toe, and he couldn't get enough on it to force it home. It's Sunderland's best chance of the game, certainly since that they hit the post in the first 5 minutes or so. But Diarra just sprang to life down the right, sprinted away from Liam Gordon, put the low ball in across the face of goal. How Mayenda hasn't scored, I've no idea.
Well, he's just not anticipated it. I mean, it's a brilliant ball across the face. He's got to slide himself in and throw himself at it. I think Diarra's just so he covers the ground so quickly. I mean, there's nothing to him, but he's just so quick across the ground. He gets down the outside, he drills a great ball across the face of goal, right across that 6-yard box. Mayenda's nowhere near anticipating it. He's waiting for it to come onto his foot rather than putting himself in a position to tap it in. So, as we enter the back end, just a little bit of a reminder to Vale that they're going to have to make sure they defend properly.
Gauci went along with that kick. He found Dejan Brown as 3 minutes of time are added on at the end of the first half, but I imagine Sunderland might well be quite keen to get into the dressing room and reorganise. I wouldn't be surprised as you look on their bench, the likes of Wilson Isidore, who has got 4 goals for them this season, and Granit Xhaka, who are clearly the most experienced players on the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't introduced in the second half, because Sunderland need to do something, because whatever they're doing at the moment isn't working for them. I
think they've got the game plan wrong. I think they're used, like I keep saying, used to playing on carpets, and this afternoon this pitch isn't that, and rightly so. I think we've done everything we can to make it as awkward for us as we can. 09's
ball into the box from the long throw, out by Reece Walters, headed back in by 09. Ojo trying to get the purchase on it. Archer can't complete the clearance. Luke back up in the air. Gabriel powers a header up, but not necessarily away from goal. Diarra trying to take on Kyle John now, and Kyle John positioned his body well to stop him getting a run on goal. He'll scoot it clear, but only give it to 09, who puts the cross into the box. It's out by Connor Hall. Vale defending their lines well. It'll go out for a throw-in on this near side, but credit to Vale, when the ball has come into the box from some good deliveries, we have to say, they've dealt with it well.
Yeah, they're more used to that than or more comfortable with that than having players working down the outsides and in those tight areas in the box. I think three centre halves have been more comfortable defending that.
Here's Talby, who's taken the ball from the left wing, and he's ran across the edge of the area and forced away from goal by Dejan Brown. Now Lefay looks to plant one to the far corner, headed down but tamely by Ballard, who'd stayed up, and that was easy for Gauci, the easiest thing he'll have to do all afternoon. But we talked about good delivery there. That one, well, it found Ballard, really didn't have much to trouble the Vale defence whatsoever.
No, he's tried to head it back across, but there's absolutely nobody there. So, less than a minute to go now. I think John Brady will be absolutely delighted. I think we're probably arguably Vale's best half of the season in terms of the way they've held the shape, the way they've pressed as a team, the game plan. I mean, I have to say it's been executed ideally, perfectly. First half and 45 minutes to be proud of.
Sunderland not done yet. Here's Angulo running in from the left, pokes it past his man, looks for Mayenda. Well done to Cameron Humphreys, who just leaned across him to steady him off the ball. And then well done to Joe Gauci, who came a very, very long way out to the edge of his 6-yard box, just outside it, to gather it at an acute angle, and then hits it long. That's the first bad kick Gauci's placed all afternoon. But occasionally Sunderland just had that injection of pace down the sides, and that's when they've looked at their best.
Yeah, but again, every time that somebody's gone past a Vale player, there's been another one, another Vale player anticipating it, defending it well.
Half time then here at Vale Park. It has been a first half to remember. No booze today. No one going for their half time cup of tea with a grimace on their face today. The crowd are cheering. The crowd are applauding. The players must feel 10 feet tall and the one who probably feels the tallest of the lot at this stage is Ben Waine, who has scored the goal that at the moment divides the two sides with a looping header over Melker Elborg in the Sunderland goal after the away side couldn't clear a cross into the box. And well, you wouldn't have thought this when you were thinking Malden and Tiptree came here, thinking they were going to cause the cup upset. For now, it's Vale who are causing the upset of their own. 45 plus stoppages and maybe a bit more to go, but at the moment it's looking pretty good. Half time, Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0.
Phil, thank you. Adam Yates, it's looking very good. I mean, it's all you could ask for, isn't it, at half time?
Well, it feels like the sun's shining in Burslem. I mean, it's been a brilliant first half performance. The odd time they might have rode the luck, but never really any real clear-cut opportunities for Sunderland, and Vale caused them problems. I think the pressing's caused them problems, the way they set up's caused them problems. They've defended really aggressively. They've been on the front foot. They've actually won the majority of the second balls, and they've defended the box well. So, thoroughly deserved. And like I said in commentary, if Vale had performed like this all year, they certainly wouldn't be in the position they're in.
Yeah, this is so far a performance they're very much proud of. How pleased are you just to see the Vale taking advantage of the fact that I think you said Sunderland sloppy, taking advantage of it?
Yeah, we talked, didn't we, in the build up to it. There are players in that Sunderland side who have come from, who have played in the lower leagues and competed before. Look at Nine, for instance. He's somebody that has come right through all the leagues and played at pretty much every level. But there are players on there on that Sunderland team that'll look at Vale in the position and think that they can just turn up and win the game. And actually, I think they've been second best for large proportions of the game. Yes, they've had a lot of possession, but they've not really caused Vale too many problems with it. And what they have done has been the creator of their own problems by playing in the wrong areas and passing the ball back to the goalkeeper, and Vale have seen that and seized upon it and gone and pressed, and they know that Sunderland are probably not at the races and just too slow building the play up. It feels to me like Sunderland think the game plan is as though they're playing a Premier League team and they're slowing everything down in their defensive third. There are times when they can counter-attack quickly and just turn the opportunity down and not to, and Vale have got themselves back into a really good shape, so long may that continue.
They'll be panicking a little bit now at half time.
Well, they should be. They've lifted the tempo maybe for 10 minutes towards the end of that first half, and yes, there are times they've got into good areas, but Vale defended it well, and like I said, I think the wide lad Angula's gone past Gordon once, maybe twice towards the end, but you've got Conor Hall behind anticipating it, or Cameron Humphreys, and they've ended up running into a dead end and Vale winning possession. So Vale have got to do a lot more of it to the second half, and there is a big 45 minutes to come, but they've got a fantastic opportunity now, Vale.
One thing that I have clocked is the fact that Sunderland have got about 15 analysts behind them, so I imagine that they're going to be doing their money's worth over the course of the half-time break and this now, just trying to figure out a game plan.
Well, they can have all the analysts they want, but if your team's being outrun, being outfought and taking silly chances and are not at the races, they can have all the data they want. The fact is that Vale have deserved to go in front, and they've been on the front foot constantly. They're pressing, they press as a team, and when they've not been able to press, they've sat off and defended and kept a good shape as a team. So the statistics and the data can say all it needs to, and the analysts can provide what they want, but if they're getting outrun and outfought, there's only so much the numbers can tell you.
Alright, Adam, thank you. Adam's going to be alongside Phil for second half commentary on 94.6 FM, DAB, Freeview 715, and of course on BBC Sounds as well, to see if the Vale can go all the way in this game. They currently lead Sunderland, Premier League Sunderland, 1-0 at half time. I'll take you through the day's sports news and yesterday's results for our other local sides next.
Players and managers.
If you want to win games, you have to score goals, and you have to score goals, and you have to score goals.
Club legends and new faces.
I've had a good career. I've played at the highest level and I'm still ambitious enough to try and come and do something.
Before the big night or after the weekend action.
I think we're playing some really good football at the minute.
Get the very latest from Stoke, Vale and crew on BBC Sounds.
I'm saying the same things all the time. We need better outcomes, we need crosses, we need runs in the box, we need people challenging.
There's a dedicated section for each of our 3 local teams.
But that is it. That's it.
Just go to BBC Sounds, search for your club and subscribe for notifications.
BBC Radio Stoke.
The voice of local football since 1968.
BBC Radio Stoke.
All right, well, let's take a break from the good vibes here at Vale Park right now and reflect on our 2 other local football sides. We'll start with defeat for Stoke City, 2-0 away at Swansea City yesterday afternoon. The first half saw a disallowed goal from Ben Wilmot, followed by a second yellow for Sorba Thomas, leaving the Potters with 10 men for most of the game as they fell to the 2 second-half goals from the Swans. After the match, BBC Radio Stoke's Mark Elliott spoke to the Stoke City manager Mark Robbins.
The red card was very difficult to take because the first booking wasn't a booking. He's having a shot and the lad puts his head down in front of him. So, they'll come back and say that, it was a just yellow card, but I find that really, really harsh. The second one, I think he's kicked out, so he may deserve the second yellow card, but shouldn't have had that, should have been his yellow card. But I still think that the game was that they were trying to goal, but you can't react. And Sorba did, and to be fair, for all the good he's done today, that isn't good enough because it's put us on the back foot. I didn't think we started particularly well. First 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, we didn't get to grips with them, but the score stayed at 0-0. And then we have 2 really big chances and then a goal that was disallowed. So that is then doubly punished because you end up with down to 10 men, and then you're trying to stay in the game and find ways of having some joy at the other end. They scored a really poor goal, really poor goal. That then you're trying to recover from, and you're trying to get back into the game with 10 men, and that is difficult to do.
Elsewhere, it was a 2-1 defeat away at Bristol Rovers for Crewe Alexandra. Crewe led early on through Alfie Pond, but 2 late goals from Rovers' Tommy Lee resulted in the Alex returning home empty-handed. After the game, BBC Radio Stoke's Graham McGarry got the thoughts of the Crewe manager Lee Bell.
I thought our back 3, obviously wing back, I thought they were magnificent, and we knew what we had to stand up to coming to here. That's why we went to that shape. And they dealt with everything. I think they've had 2 shots on target. Mickey blocked 1 which looked goal bound, and then we've not stopped a cross coming in the box. Runners then going off a second phase from a set play, people just running up the pitch, not doing their jobs, and then 2 moments have cost us. It's a real hard one for us to take.
You got yourselves in front as well, and unfortunately you couldn't build on that, but you looked up pretty much in control of the game.
I thought so, and I spoke to the players. You can feel under pressure if you want because of the crowd. The crowd are really good, and you can feel under pressure if you want that to make you go under. But I think we dealt with mostly everything. There's some desperate balls from them at stages, getting balls into the box, and like I say, the 3 lads at the back dealt with 99% of everything they threw at us. And then what we didn't do is we didn't just show quite enough going up the pitch, but we are really gutted, and I imagine everybody will be, the fans out here, people at home, will be disappointed. And I've said to him, you're going to take some criticism off me now, which I did afterwards, individually. We all take the praise. It's about now we've got to learn, and the mistakes have got to, we can't come here and do as well as what we did. You watch their 2 previous games and they were outstanding. Bristol and their 2 previous games here, and then for the last 6 minutes we can see 2 goals like that.
You made a few changes as well. Was it tactical, or was it had to 1 or 2 coming off around the hour mark?
Well, this is what we wanted the players to come back for. CT's just coming back, so CT needs to come off. Tommy's on it. We need. That's what we've got Jack now for, is particularly playing that shape and that formation. Josh ran himself into the ground. So we've got the players there, to come in now. A couple on the bench still. tends to come back. So we've got the players there, so there's no excuses made in terms of that. It's just letting a runner go in the box, not being able to stop a cross, being miles off trying to stop the cross, and not seeing out a second phase set piece.
Results today, by the way. Earlier game in the FA Cup 5th round. Bit of a shock. EFL side beating a Premier League side. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. Southampton won 1-0 away at Fulham to set up themselves for a quarter-final tie, with Ross Stewart scoring a penalty in the 91st minute of the game. The later FA Cup clash is the 4:30 tie between Leeds United and Norwich City. Meanwhile, in the Championship, QPR face Middlesbrough. That's at 4:30. And earlier on today in League One, Wimbledon beat Northampton Town by 1-0. The FA Cup clash tomorrow, we'll see West Ham take on Brentford. Give me a yes or no. You haven't got an answer on the radio if you don't. Just should I start talking about the potential teams that Vale could face if they go through, or am I asking for? What are you thinking? No, he's saying no. Yates is shaking his head, saying I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't just think. Yeah,
playing with fire there, if I do that.
It's disrespectful to Sunderland as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we care about that, don't we? Yeah. Well, I'm really sorry, Sunderland fans. Milk this for everything we can, Yatesy. Yeah, okay. Well, West Ham play Brentford tomorrow, and I won't say anything else.
To yourself up, mate.
I am Yates.
In the north
I've deleted Twitter now. It's probably a good reason.
Limit their fans that hate the Leeds.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen. It's always good to make enemies somewhere. Keeps you alive. Okay. Let's hit the day sports news, shall we? Staying with football, firstly, in yesterday's game, the Women's World Cup qualifying. 2 wins out of 2 for England in the group stages. They beat Iceland 2-0 yesterday. Manager Sarina Wiegman has urged her team to keep the standards high that they faced when they face Spain next month.
We have to try and win first all the games against Iceland and Ukraine, and then Spain. And we know that's the world champion, but we're the European champions, so that's going to be an exciting one.
Meanwhile, in tennis, British number 1 Jack Draper fought back from a set down to beat Spaniard Roberto Batista 3-6, 6-3, 6-2 and move into the 3rd round of the men's singles at the Indian Wells in California. The 24-year-old says he won't be getting too far ahead of himself as he attempts to defend his title after 8 months out with injury.
It's important to just recognise that in your mind and not set your expectations too high so that you're not struggling that much in your mind with the thought that why am I not playing great, why am I not doing this thing. So it's going to be a process to get to where I want to be, but I'm getting closer and closer.
And the opening race of the new Formula 1 season took place with the Australian Grand Prix in the early hours of the morning. It was a Brit who finished on the top of the podium. Here are the closing moments in Melbourne.
The checkered flag is waiting for George Russell, who wins the Australian Grand Prix and takes the first victory of the 2026 Formula 1 season. It's Mercedes 1 and 2, with Kimi Antonelli coming home in second. Charles Leclerc makes it 3rd place for Ferrari, with Lewis Hamilton half a second away of the podium in 4th. It's Mercedes, though, who take the spoils in this new era of Formula 1.
And if you want to get the rest of your sports fix, go to bbc.co.uk/sport. It's also where you can hear the second half of this game at Vale Park, where the Vale are leading 1-0 against Premier League side Sunderland in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Other options are 94.6 FM, DAB, Freeview Channel 715, and if you fancy it, it's on BBC Sounds as well. We'll head back with our commentary team next.
Open the door to a collection of true crime podcasts.
News is coming in of a kidnapping in the Shropshire village of Highley. Police have found a ransom demand.
And secrets lie uncomfortably close to home.
To my wife, I would say to her, just make sure that you lock the doors at night.
Stories where the next danger could be just up your street.
Where did he go? Like, where on earth could he have gone?
Crime Next Door. Listen on BBC Sounds.
The only station with full commentary of Stoke, Vale and Crew.
BBC Radio Stoke.
Port Vale fans heading back to their seats ahead of the second half that's about to kick off here at Vale Park. Sunderland fans were fair play to them. Try not to fall out of them now, Yatesy. But fair play to them. They were very noisy They were very noisy in the first half of the game until a looping header from Ben Waine. It did shush them just a little bit, and as a result of that, it meant that the Vale fans were able to sort of overpower the many away following, and it just caused a bit of excitement really in the ground. And I think that's something that the Vale fans are hoping they can keep the energy going in the second half here. The Sunderland players just coming back onto the Vale Park pitch now. Let's check back in, shall we, with our commentary team of Phil Bowers and Adam Yates. Adam, we were just talking off air. Vale are winning, we're enjoying it, we want to see it stay the same, but Sunderland are going to have a couple of tricks up the sleeve, even with a lighter bench than they're perhaps used to, and they're going to have, you'd imagine surely, a switch in a game plan that Vale are going to have to be ready to intercept and prepare for too.
Yeah, there are going to be periods, and we sort of saw it towards the end of the first half that Sunderland started to up the tempo and up the pace and the speed of play. Vale defended those opportunities well, but it's certainly going to be one where we're going to really have to be active in the second half, and there might be long periods where we have to soak pressure up and ride a luck. But again, I still think Vale are going to have another opportunity or two, and particularly from set plays, they look so dangerous.
Does look like Vale have made a change as well. I'll leave that to Phil Bowers to explain the reason for it too. Second half commentary on the way for you right now with the Vale goal up against Sunderland.
Welcome back for the second half here. 45 minutes maybe between Port Vale and another step closer, as ludicrous as it sounds, to Wembley. Let's not get carried away, shall we, everybody? But Vale have made a change at the start of the second half. Cameron Humphreys, who played well in the first half but we thought picked up a knock in that period, has been replaced by Tyler McGlaw. And perhaps, Adam, as we saw earlier on when he was going to come on, not a surprise.
No, I mean, Cameron Humphreys signalled to John Brady. Tyler McGlaw was chased and ready to go on, and stood in the technical area ready to go on, and Cameron Humphreys just sort of signalled to manager he's okay. But I'm not surprised to see that change come. If there's any doubt whatsoever, the manager's got to make that change.
Lefay now to Talby, tries a shot from distance but well over the top of the crossbar, and as a result of that little rejig, Tyler McGlaw, despite being probably the most physically dominant of the three defenders, is playing on the right of the three, and Kyle John has gone into the middle to take care of Mayenda. Sunderland not made a change. They've only got two senior players on the bench, Wilson Isidore and Granit Xhaka, and I'm told they would be loath to bring either of those two on because they want to try and keep them in reserve for the Premier League games coming up. Vale goal kick. Brown looking to try and touch it into the path of Waine, headed away by Sunderland and returned with interest by Connor Hall. It'll break out to the left now to Ethan Archer, who had a good first half, the Luton loanee. He'll have a little go at Geertruida now, forced inside now to Gordon. Ojo back to Connor Hall, places one over the top looking for Dejan Brown, tried to spin Ballard but headed away. Rhys Walters and Rigg into a bit of a wrestling match. McGlaw comes across and deals with it, and then booted clear. McGlaw again with a header. This time it'll go out into touch out wide on the Sunderland left, and they now will have a throw in on the halfway line left side. O'Nien takes it, looks to try and hit it into the channel with Mayenda and McGlaw, and Mayenda tries to get the better of him. Last touch came from McGlaw, by the looks of it be a corner. I'm not 100% on that, so let's have a look at the replay in front of us, because it didn't look 100% a Sunderland corner.
No, but I think the reaction time McGlaw tells you everything. He doesn't appeal for it whatsoever, so we know Vale have been a threat from set pieces, but the quality that's coming from Lefay from Sunderland's perspective is really dangerous.
It's his ball in. Gauci is up, gets a punch on it, doesn't get very far. Back in by O'Nien. Gauci again, headed out of his own arms. It might drop in. It's off the line by Gabriel. Scuffed back in, and Gauci saves on the line. And Gauci came a long way out to try and catch initially. It was Gordon who got in his own goalkeeper's way, which made sure Gauci didn't get enough on the clearance. It was headed back over him. Gabriel was on the line to head it off, and then a scuffed shot looked like it might deceive Gauci, who dropped on it right on the line.
When you're talking about riding, you look, that's it there, because it's Joe Gauci comes out to collect it. I think it's Gordon that heads it.
That's awkward from McGlaw. and Kyle John has got the benefit of a decision there against Elizur Mayenda, who was chasing him back as Sunderland walloped that ball over the top, and McGlaw had to head it back to Gauci. He was perhaps a little bit thankful that McGlaw's wayward header didn't result in a corner, because Kyle John was being fouled by Mayenda and has got a free kick.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a nervy header from Tyler McGlaw. You have to say he's gone from playing, with all due respect, at Workington to playing against a mid-table Premier League side. So, and he's coming into the game at half-time, which is never easy.
No, and now you mention that's a hell of a step up in a couple of months, isn't it, from Workington to Sunderland. McGlaw, nice feet now to Gordon on the halfway line left side, hits one over the top, looks for Brown. It was a bit of a push there on Ballard, and the referee has waved play on. Advantage from Sunderland. Ballard didn't look too happy that Brown had put him on his backside, and now 09 wide on the left. Infield to Talby. Sunderland not afraid to go back to their goalkeeper and centre halves to try and reuse it, but in all of this they're not getting anywhere with it.
No, Vale are doing what they need to do, which is, they might track the man into that's receiving the ball, but they then retreat back off and into the shape, and they keep the shape. So yes, Sunderland are having a large proportion of possession, but like you just said, they're not really going anywhere.
There is a stoppage here as the number 7 Talby has gone down on the halfway line on the left, got into a bit of a tangle with Jordan Gabriel, and the two of them walk away, and I think Gabriel went to kind of offer his thanks and offer his commiserations, and Talby just walked away from him in a huff, and the free kick has been given though against Gabriel for that. And now Lefay on the halfway line left side for Sunderland, tries to play one through the middle for Rigg, tried to ping it towards Mayenda, but Vale intercepted again. Ballard now on the halfway line on the right to Angulo. Liam Gordon all over him like a rash, and Sunderland play their way out of danger but played back. And Funso Ojo, who I know prides himself on his fitness, has been everywhere today. He's pressed when he's needed to press, he's sat in when he's needed to sit in, and it's kind of what we've wanted to see from Funso Ojo for a very long time.
I think Funso, he's so laid back in terms of the way he plays, is that sometimes you almost think he can go and press and do more physically. He is very comfortable in possession, he likes to sit, but this is probably the most combative I've seen him, and it's something that if he can put into his game, I'm a big fan of his anyway, but if he can get that into his game, he's almost a certain starter every week for me.
Out of contract in the summer, Funso Ojo, along with I think about 17 others, as McGlaw tries to hook the ball out wide to the left, but not a great ball from McGlaw. It was behind Archer. Sunderland fans now are getting behind their team. There's certainly a little bit of needle in this now, perhaps more so than there was in the first half. I think some of that has come as well by a couple of fouls that the referees let go that Sunderland weren't happy about. Here's Alderete to Ballard, and now Vale just pushing Sunderland back. They had a ton of possession, Sunderland. I think I looked at half time, I think they've had about 62% possession, but not really done that much with it. Mayenda, good work from Gordon, who took it off him, but he's all back in his own penalty area and puts in a poor clearance. Ojo there with a foul on Diarra, looks disgustedly away at himself. Don't think he thinks that was a foul, but right in front of the referee, it was always going to be given.
Yeah, I think Gordon does brilliantly well to win it initially, but it's on his weak side, his right side, and he just doesn't get anywhere near the contact he wants on it to make that clearance, and puts Funso in a bit of a difficult position where he has to be. I think Slafay brings down, but right in front of the referee, like you said, the referee's got no option but give that one.
It's a free kick in a really dangerous area. It is halfway inside the Vale half, just to the right of centre. Lefay and 09 are both over the ball. Sunderland, as you would expect in the situation that they find themselves in this game, have committed virtually all their players forward. It's only Rigg who is level with the free kick takers, who isn't inside the penalty area. Angulo out wide on the right, Geertruida out wide on the left, the rest of them buzzing around the edge of the box. Lefay chips it in, headed up in the air by Mayenda, but looping away from goal. Ballard kept away from the ball by Kyle John, and it will go out for a goal kick. And Kyle John I've been really impressed with him this season, as I know you have, but today he's up against real quality players and he's not shirking the challenge at all.
No, but you've got to remember, and I'm not sure what age he came to when he was here, but I remember thinking to myself, he's done incredibly well to stay in and around Everton's first team training squad for so long. At that age, so he's used to playing training with these players, these top class players, week in, week out, day in, day out.
Goal kick is charged down by Sunderland, picked up by Gabriel on the right, back to McGlaw, who tries to hit Brown, does well to hold it up. Looked to touch it back to Wayne, but they weren't on the same wavelength, and Wayne was behind the ball, and then that's a foul by Ben Wayne on Enzo Lefebvre, and it will be a yellow card for Vale's goal scorer. A little bit of a nothing challenge really, but it came as a result of Wayne having to chase back and just dangled a bit of a leg out there and pulled his arm back, didn't he? And a little bit of a silly one there to give away.
Yeah, I think Lefebvre's away, and Ben Wayne's probably a little bit nervous about the quality that he's got now. He can punish you, so decides to give one away. Referee rightly so gives that yellow card.
09 hit a long crossfield ball from the free kick that fell to the feet of Angulo, but fair play to Liam Gordon, who blocked him off really well. But it will be a Sunderland throw about 6 yards away from the corner flag on the right, in front of the Bycars end. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0, 55 minutes gone in the 5th round of the FA Cup here at Vale Park. 09's throw in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Gauci bounced in front of him and came out of court. I think he was a little bit surprised as anybody that ball bounced in front of him, but the players, no set of players in front of him made any contact, just sat up nicely for him.
I think in fairness to any of the Vale players, if we're defending that, then we're okay. Can't believe someone plays not stood on the goalkeeper.
I just couldn't believe that Gauci was easily able to catch that. Vale are going to make another change here. Dejan Brown has just turned nicely there and got away from 09, who then fouled him. Might be the one coming off, because Andre Gray, an FA Cup finalist in 2019 with Watford, is about to enter the fray, and spoke in the pre-match press conference about what it's like to play against Premier League teams, and he will relish the opportunity to have another go at one here in the latter stages of his career. Free kick to the Vale then, just short of halfway inside the Sunderland half on the right. Archer puts it in, it's not bad, looks for Brown, good take from the keeper, who came a long way to deal with that, came all the way out to the penalty spot there, did Elborg, to gather that low down at kind of ankle height there. Keeper, a really good take from him, and Gray will be with us shortly.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Dejan Brown, won't it, that'll go off. I think George Hall's got himself ready as well, but again, I'm looking at that ball that's come in from I think it's Ethan Archer. Someone's just got to go across the front of the goalkeeper, because he's coming into an area, if there's any sort of touch on him, he's got nowhere to go.
Mayenda has tried his best there to get the better of Kyle John. Looked like John went down under Mayenda's challenge. The referee waved play on. Mayenda then tried to get the ball back into the box. It was well cleared by Vale. It'll be a corner. George Hall and Andre Gray will be with us very shortly as we approach the hour mark here on BBC Radio Stoke. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0 on BBC Sounds as well this afternoon. Sunderland corner. Let's see what Vale can do to defend it. Whipped in by Lefebvre. Ojo with the header out. Brown trying to chase. He'll head it on for Ethan Archer, who's trying to get on the end of that. But it'll be 09 who reaches it first, and now Diarra, who's given the ball straight to Ethan Archer. And Sunderland just look at 6s and 7s at times.
Yeah, it's the pressing of Vale. And like I said, you're not getting one player pressing on their own. You're getting 2 or 3 players pressing at the same time, and the woes behind them going and making sure they're not picked off. So they're defending really well as a team.
Those 2 changes confirmed. Ethan Archer coming off, helped play a role in that opening goal. And Dejan Brown off for maybe not so much the pace anymore, but the nous of Andre Gray, who, as I say, has got experience of playing both in the Premier League and against Premier League opposition. And he was saying the other day he'd quite like another go at one. Well, he's got his chance.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not got going yet, has he? He looks a bit off it physically, but you can see at the times where the ball comes into him, just the quality he's got. And the power and I'd say the perception and the anticipation of a ball dropping.
Angulo out wide on the right as Sunderland try and attack the Vale goal. Geertruida takes the ball away. Diarra trying to screw the ball back into play. That looked like it went out. Assistant referee says corner. Connor Hall can't believe it. He feels that Diarra had taken that ball out of play before he hit it against his ankles. We'll have a look at the replay in a sec, but Vale fans are going absolutely nuts over this. Connor Hall feels very aggrieved. That lady down the front isn't pleased.
I was just going to say, she's turned around and had a look at us. So we've made a decision.
Well, we've got the VAR board.
From our position, it does look like it's probably just out, but yeah, just referee trying to calm things down, but she's still going mad, Phil.
Yeah, I think to keep calm her down. Corner goes all the way over to the far side, comes off Ballard's head and out on the far side for a corner, and said lady is now ecstatic that Sunderland have made a complete nut and mess of that corner.
She's delighted.
That's the happy. She wasn't as happy as that when Ben Waine scored. Anyway, Vale have made their changes. Sunderland, a goal down in this one, have yet to make any, and as we say, they've only got 2 senior players on the bench, Wilson Isidore and Granit Xhaka. I am told by those in the know from their end of things that they are loath to put those onto the pitch because they don't really want to play them. They've got a host of injuries as well, Sunderland, so I think they want to try and protect some of their first team players. As Gauci now takes this goal kick up towards Walters, headed away. Mayenda trying to get the better of McGlaw, and he has. He's caught him out there, but McGlaw recovered sufficiently to touch the ball out. And you can sometimes tell, while he's got that little touch of class about it, you can sometimes tell maybe his fitness, because he hasn't been playing at that higher level, is sometimes a little bit off.
Well, the manager talks around him physically about how powerful, quick he is, and you can see he's got that. But I think in terms of him being on the ball, that little bit of quality, that little bit of relaxation and calmness sometimes is a bit lacking.
09's long ball in, not cleared, might sit up for Angulo. Connor Hall trying to get there, scrambled in by Rigg. Reece Walters comes away with the ball, has to just get it clear, and he'll find Gray. That's excellent defending from Vale. Gray, lovely ball for George Hall, if he can find him, and he can. It's George Hall. He gates it round the keeper outside the box, brings him down. He might be on his way here. The goalkeeper, George Hall. It depends whether the keeper feels it's a goal. The ref thinks it's a goal scoring opportunity. It's a yellow card for Elborg. It was a brilliant ball from Andre Gray to set George Hall racing away. He left Geertruida in his wake. He was eating his dust, couldn't catch him. Elborg came all the way out of goal, scythed him down well outside the box. The referee, though, looked at him and goes yellow card. He clearly felt it wasn't a goal-scoring opportunity.
Well, you could only say that he's going away from goal, and there is a little bit of, you're looking on the replay, you've got Geertruida and O'Neill that may be just around. I mean, it's just outside.
Well, there is a VAR check going on for the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. It's clearly a foul. It's whether or not Geertruida would have been in a position to cover the goal. I think he is. I think that the ref will say that that's not clear.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think the fact that the referee, is setting up for, or Vale are setting up for this free kick. Sorry, but Andre Graham talking around him before, around his quality and his anticipation. He's pressed as he starts to receive the ball, but then realises that the Sunderland players dropping off. It's a fantastic ball, and the pace of George Hall, we talk about it week in, week out, it's outstanding.
Well, the crowd noise you can hear is because they've just put up on the big screen, checking decision, no red card. They just put up on the big screen, VAR, denial of goal scoring opportunity. Now, Anthony Taylor did kind of like the old blockbusters with his hands there to intimate he wasn't going to go and look at the big screen. I wonder whether he's overruled the VAR there and gone, no, that's not a denial.
Well, I think he's just, he does come over and brandish the yellow card. I think that's at John Brady as well. I think he's just picked up the yellow card for probably his reaction.
Yeah, I think that's the second yellow card he's got. Certainly can't accuse him of not being passionate about this. The whole place is stood up at the minute. There's a sense of injustice about that with the words regarding VAR that you can probably imagine. But Vale have a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area on the right side. George Hall is over it, Ben Waine is over it, just past an hour. Vale lead 1-0, chance to make it 2 if they can from this free kick. It's Hall or Waine. It is George Hall. It hits the wall. Back to George Hall, tries to scuff it into the box. Gabriel trying to pounce on it. but then Sunderland will clear, and the boos you can hear as they feel Vale are hard done by here. I think there is an offside flag up as well, but from the far side from the assistant referee, so Sunderland will get a free kick. But we knew VAR would have some role to play today, but maybe not as important as we thought it might do.
It's the villain.
Yes. Well, I think we can tell what the fans think of it now. It's not gone their way. I think if they sent him off as a result of VAR check, then it would have been the best thing ever. So free kick taken now by Sunderland. It's Alderete, the number 15, brings the ball out from the back. 63 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds. It's the 5th round of the FA Cup. It's Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0. And Vale looking to book a place in the quarter-finals for the first time since 1954. But Sunderland are not done yet. Connor Hall clears Ballard's through ball out into touch for a throw for the away side, halfway inside the Vale half on the right. Whatever happens today, you cannot fault Vale's performance and their work rate today.
No, I've said probably the third time now. If Vale had played like this all year, they wouldn't be in the position. I'm not saying they'd be, mid-table or towards the playoffs, but they certainly wouldn't be bottom of the table. There's more fight today, and I think we've seen in almost every game this year. And there's been that quality as well. They deserve to be in front.
Long ball played over the top now to the right to Angulo by 09. Well done, Liam Gordon, who just waited for him to try and touch it past him, stood off him, stuck out a leg, put it out for a throw by the corner flag on the right. And Liam Gordon's had a lot to deal with today, with Angulo and Diarra doubling up down that right side. He's perhaps been a bit lucky that Geertruida, who's the right back, has pretty much stayed in his own half, but Gordon has responded to all of that really well. Long throw from Sunderland, 09 to take it by the corner flag on the right, puts it into the box, not cleared by Gabriel. George Hall trying to get it away. Ballard goes down on the edge of the area, no free kick, says the ref. Ben Waine comes away and releases Andre Gray, who's got 2 to beat. George Hall in the middle if he can find him, tries to touch it to him. George Hall there trying to get on what was a really ambitious ball for Gray to play. Hall had to run around 3 defenders to reach it, and the keeper got there first.
Well, what's really impressive is the way that Andre Gray and George Hall link it up, because that's probably the 3rd time now that George Hall has used his pace to get him behind. He's so quick and so direct, and Andre Gray's got a little bit of nous and the due care and attention to find him. So good 2 good substitutions by the manager, maybe at the right time as well.
Yeah, and subs in FA Cup ties like this can often be key, trying to get players out there who can match the fitness levels, or at least get near to the fitness levels of Premier League players, is so vital. Here's Talby, cuts away from Waine on the left. Sunderland growing into the game as the second half goes on. Geertruida out wide to the right to Diarra. Gordon to confront him, touches it infield now. Geertruida lays it across to Lefay just outside the penalty area, left side. Now Talby, McGlaw for company, takes him wide, rolls it back now to 09. Gabriel over to look after him. Waine to charge out and meet Lefay, who's got the ball. Sunderland with loads of possession. Ball whipped in by Talby, across to the back stick. Diarra can't keep it in. It'll go out for a goal kick, and all that enterprise and possession, Adam Yates, comes to nothing.
Yeah, just overhit cross by Talby. He shifts it well onto his right foot, but just way too overhit. I'm not sure you've got a real target man in there that will go and want to attack those crosses, but again, Vale are just defending so well. You're going to have to face crosses coming in.
Sunderland are going to make a substitution. They are going to bring on Wilson Isidore, who has scored 4 goals for them this season. He is a winger stroke forward, not the target man that you were talking about, Adam. He isn't that type of player, but he is a runner, and he'll try and get him behind and try and make life difficult, which will add a different dimension to this Sunderland attack.
Well, in fact, he's got four goals as well, is what Sunderland are desperate on to get themselves back into the game, and they just don't seem like they're able to find a way through at the moment.
Ojo's lost the ball, but Walters has won it back, and Ojo brings it away. Gabriel trying to touch it in front of him on the right before Lefay blocked him off. Vale are winning the ball, then losing the ball, then winning it back again, and then losing it again as Geertruida out wide on the right. Isidore will be on shortly for Sunderland. Might be Mayenda who goes off. They've tried a lot of different things, this Sunderland, to try and change the way that the game is going, but nothing's worked so far. Lefay, who's popped up wide left now, trying to create room for a cross, does so. Well done, Jordan Gabriel, who blocks the cross. It's out for a corner. and Sunderland will now make their change. It is the number 7 Talby who will be coming off, and he'll be replaced by Isidore. So in essence they'll now have 2 strikers on the pitch.
Well, you would think that there would have to be a slight change in shape. Like you said, they've thrown another forward onto the pitch. I'm not sure what that'll do in terms of whether John Brady will see that he might need to tweak his side's formation. But Vale, like I said, they're defending so well. Even when the crosses are coming into the box, they're locked onto men and there's no free headers.
Isidore is coming on. He might not be a target man, but he's not half a big, and I'll say this, he's a big lad. He's come onto the pitch, he's very athletic as well. You can always tell that players with white ankle socks and white boots. It'll be Lefay's corner, driven in, needs to deal with it. Ballard's header and over the bar. Good work from Connor Hall, who got in there with Daniel Ballard, who is a big, powerful unit at the back for Sunderland. Got in there, got his head to the ball, but I think maybe Connor Hall just did enough there, didn't he, to get him away from the ball. Yeah,
there are times, like we talk about the quality from set plays from Lefay, and you're going to have times where Sunderland are first to it, but you can't let them have free handers. And I think you're right, it's Connor Hall that is touched out, he's locked on to Ballard, and fortunately for us, Connor does his job, and that's headed right over the bar.
Kick from Gauci is flicked forward by Gray, looking for George Hall, who's clearly going to be doing a lot of Andre Gray's running as this game carries on. Rigg out wide on the right now. Sunderland have tweaked things slightly. Mayenda's gone out wide to the right. Geertrude, who was the right back, has kind of gone up front now with Isidore, as Rigg, who's now playing out wide on the right, picks it up, takes on George Hall, left-footed ball in towards the back post, looks for Angulo, headed up and tipped over by Gauci superbly. Angulo got up above Gabriel, looked to try and head it in at the near post, and Gauci responded with a firm hand to tip it over.
Well, that is top-class play from Rigg, who's arguably been probably hardly touched the ball for the opening 70 minutes, but he checks inside. We're right behind it. He hits that cross with so much pace, and Angulo, you're looking and thinking it's over his head. He ends up getting a head on it, and I have to say it's a brilliant save from Gauci.
Lefay's corner, deep into the box, header up and over the bar. This time again Ballard, this time Connor Hall couldn't get near to him. I think there is a touch there. I think they're saying Gauci might have touched that over. If he has, it's an exceptional save, because Connor Hall that time was out-muscled by Ballard, and it looks like, at the very least, Joe Gauci has tipped that over. What a save.
What a save again. I think Joe Gauci, the times this year he's been critical with his feet, but outstanding save.
Rigg's corner, over to the far side, headed back into the mixer, out by Kyle John, out by Gabriel, back in by 09, still not cleared. Gauci will claim it as it's flicked on by Isidore, right to his feet. I think Kyle John has caught one in the unmentionables there as Gauci goes long. Cleared away though as Sunderland once more try to fight their way back into the game. Rigg fouls Ojo on the halfway line. It's a free kick. This is getting a bit tasty now, isn't it?
It is. I mean, Gauci's looking at Gauci, he's just gone down with his back. He did lay on the floor a little bit longer than you would have thought when he's tipped that ball over. I think he's probably just crashed his back onto the turf, but Sunderland are turning up the pressure now, and we knew that they were going through a period of the game where Vale would have to ride the luck and defend properly, and that seems to be coming. But maybe that Joe Gauci injury at this time might just do Vale a bit of a favour, Phil.
As you said earlier on, a cynical man would say this is time to reorganise. Well, I am that cynical man. And Vale, will use the opportunity to take on some tactical information. Gary Mills is down there, assistant manager, just going through some details with Connor Hall and Kyle John, who's been superb today. Kyle John, we have to praise him for that. Connor Hall has been superb today. Don't think anybody's really been below a 7 out of 10, really, have they?
No. You look and think, like I said, large proportions of the game you've got to defend properly, and it is a lot more time chasing the ball around than it is when you're in possession and controlling it. But Vale, every single player, every one of us has done the job properly. They've kept a good line, they've made good decisions. Maybe the odd time we've rode a luck, but you're always going to have to do that against a Premier League side. And we talked numerous times before the game about being involved in this tie at 70 minutes. Well, we're not only involved in it, we're in front.
Kyle John rallying the troops, and they respond in kind. They smell an upset here. They also smell of getting out of an away trip to Cardiff on Good Friday, but when they'll fit that in, Lord only knows. But Vale have, at the moment, got their bit between their teeth. They are in the driving seat in this game. They lead Sunderland by a goal to nil. with just over a quarter of an hour left in normal time, and Liam Gordon's taken that free kick quickly to release George Hall, who will take on Rigg down the left. He'll go down. The referee says no free kick. George Hall, who was yellow carded last Saturday after Luton's first goal for a simulation in the box. Didn't get one for that on that occasion, but I think he may have been looking for it.
Yeah, I think Rigg's got him down the line, and it's coming together. There isn't a lot in that, to be honest with you. But yeah, Vale have just got to see out the next 18 minutes, 17 minutes of the game. Maybe a couple of minutes have added on at the moment. It stands. You'd say that there's pressure come. Gouchy's had to make a couple of saves, which we knew he would have to at some point. But still, I don't feel that Vale are opening themselves up and looking to openly concede opportunities. They still very, very much look a comfortable side.
Diarra now playing in Mayenda down the right. Kyle John across, meets it with a wonderful challenge. It's going to be a corner. Oh, what's the referee giving here? It's not, it's a goal kick. The last touch came off Diarra, but Kyle John measured that all the way, made sure that Diarra wasn't inside the box, and took him out beautifully, if that's such a thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's ideal for Kyle John, those sorts of situations, those sorts of scenarios where he's able to really rattle into a tackle, and you're thinking when you rattle into a tackle like that, you're going to at least the direction he's going, it's going to be a Sunderland throw, but gets that little bit of luck that we've needed.
Here's Wayne, tries to take it past Ballard. Walters wins it back. Ojo scoops it up into the air, asking a lot of George Hall. Alderete heads it clear. Ojo can't win the ball. Mayenda touches it off to Isidore, and then it's been played through towards the right to Diarra. Liam Gordon gets there first. There is I couldn't see there because it was off the ball. It clearly happened after the ball had gone. But I think Sunderland have got a free kick here after they went on the attack down the right with Diarra. Let's just have a look. I think it's Kyle John penalised there for a foul on Isidore, and it will be a free kick. 10,685 inside the ground, with 3,110 Sunderland supporters who have made a fantastic noise in that away end. But it's been a great cup tie, Adam, hasn't it? Great crowd. Just let's stick with it as this ball comes in. Gouchy's come a long way and missed it. It's out by Connor Hall. Didn't need to come that far, Gouchy, and Sunderland have a chance now. Here's Angulo out wide on the left. He's going to take on Gabriel. Gabriel puts in the challenge, brings the ball away, does he? Angulo's still fighting with him. He'll bring him down. Be a free kick to the Vale. But just going back to before that incident there, Adam, great cup tie, great crowd, great performance. It's everything you could want.
Yeah, and listen, I'm a fan of Sunderland Football Club. Talked to Lucas before, a bit of a soft spot for the teams up there in the north, and they've been fantastic, the away supporters, but wonderful afternoon for 75 minutes for Vale fans and the owners and Matt and the manager. Let's just hope that 15-20 minutes from now we're talking about the same things in Vale the next round.
Ominously, the cameras have focused on the touchline where Granit Xhaka has been sent to warm up. Premier League winner, World Cup appearances, you name it. Now he might get the chance to strut his stuff at Vale Park. Indeed, probably the highlight of his career, one would chance. Lefay, centre field, out wide to the left. Quarter of an hour left to go. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. McGlaw turns away the header. Gabriel, though, looked to win that one. Angulo came across him, used his arm to control the ball, which the referee Anthony Taylor spotted, and it will be a free kick to the Vale to relieve a bit of pressure. And Gouchy will come over to take it. These last quarter of an hour are going to be really important, isn't it, Adam? Because both in terms of fitness and concentration.
Yeah, and then also, more importantly than any of that, Phil, is not dropping deep and inviting much pressure, because once that happens, you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing. Vale have got to be brave enough to stay high up the pitch and hopefully condense the spaces.
Connor Hall there, meeting the ball in the air with a header after Sunderland had repelled Gouchy's free kick. Diarra goes down under Wayne's challenge, who has a bit of a moan about it. I think Ben Wayne is getting a bit of an education in how Premier League players deal with a little bit of a shove in the back. He's been penalised for 2 or 3 today, where he just put his arm on the shoulder of a player and they've gone down. That's a good ball for Lefay. Isidore now, 35 yards out centre field, tries to slide it through for Angulo. Poor pass from him, and Gouchy and Gabriel just let it trickle out of play. And Sunderland wear the look, Adam, of a side that's just creeping into desperation territory.
Well, they're getting so frustrated. They just don't seem to be able to find a way through. They get into wide areas and sometimes, get into positions where they can cross the ball, not openly. Really got much appetite to do it. They're tentative to put balls in. They're looking to try and thread those balls down the side, but every time that's happened, Vale players been the right side of the man and seen it outplay like we've just seen.
Gauci with the kick, looking for Wayne, headed away by Isidore. Ojo wins the header again, finds George Hall under some pressure, goes back to Gordon, winds one up, asking a lot of George Hall with a long ball to the left, but he's going to find him, Ballard though is powerful, wins the ball back, and George Hall won't get the better of him, but what he will do is put him off balance enough that Ballard has to put it into touch for a Vale throw, and that's pretty much all George Hall could do in that situation.
I think Gordon has to play that ball, and he does. It's a bit of an oval one, but he puts it into an area that allows George Hall to get after it, and Ballard does not want to be in those wide areas chasing balls down, but finds himself there, and we do brilliantly well again to win a throw-in.
Gordon with the throw, 2/3 away inside the Sunderland half, left side. Sunderland steer it away. Gordon blocks off Diarra. Attempted run down the right, and it will be another throw. This time to Sunderland. Geertruida to take it. Lefay, now 09. Midway inside his own half, out wide to the left to Angulo. He's gone out to that side since Sunderland have tweaked their formation. Rigg has now gone out wide right and has looked a little bit disconsolate because no one will give him the ball. Alderete might change that now. He's gone with a long ball looking for Rigg. Gordon rises and wins the header, but the ball won't go out to play, and Rigg will get a second go at it. Looks to wind up a ball on his left foot, touches it in field to Lefay. Lefay puts a good ball in. It's a flicked header and it hits the post, and it's turned away by Ben Waine. It was Angulo's header at the back post from the flick on by Geertruida from the ball into the box from Lefay. It flicked across the face of goal and somehow struck the post. I think there may have been a flag involved there. There was offside anyway, which wouldn't have counted, but Vale are riding their luck.
Yeah, when you talk around, you need a bit of luck. That's where he says yes. The Lions has put his flag up, but it's fine margins. Even if not have gone up, it was an opportunity for Sunderland, and they didn't take it. So again, it just feels like 11 minutes left. This could be our day.
Could it be? Could it be? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Calm down. We're not there yet. Alderete heading the ball forward from Gauci's kick. McGlaw trying to nod it out to the right. Wayne trying to keep hold of it. I think he used his hand there. The referee says yes. And Ben Waine, who scored the goal and what seems like an eternity ago on 29 minutes, is penalised for a fact. That goal does seem a long, long time ago, doesn't it?
Seems like yesterday.
Sunderland free kick just over the halfway line, left side. We've got less than 10 minutes plus stoppages to go. Vale are going to make a change. Eli Campbell will be on shortly, and indeed they'll make that change now before the free kick is taken. Liam Gordon is coming off and Eli Campbell will be coming on. Liam Gordon clearly didn't know about that because it was set up for the free kick, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Liam Gordon's been fantastic. I think everyone has this afternoon, but I've questioned his defending at times this season, and I think rightly so when I have. But he's defended brilliantly this afternoon against real top quality opposition.
It's number 27,
Eli Campbell, who is like for like swap on that left side. The Everton loanee will come in and take his place on the left side of that defence, and I think part of this might be to do with his height as well, because he's a good 6 inches taller than Liam Gordon, and he'll be in there to provide a bit of an extra presence. Ball whipped in towards that left side. Connor Hall is up and wins it well, and he'll look to win the second ball. I think he wanted Campbell to get that again. Then he'll try and scoop it up in the air. The ball hasn't gone out of play. I think Connor Hall thought it had. Diarra didn't, and he's kept it in. Reece Walters goes over to challenge him though. Sunderland are going to make a change, and Granit Xhaka will be coming on as Ojo ploughs into the back of Lefay, but it's fairly, and then it's played through for George Hall, who could be onside. It's George Hall to seal it, and then the challenge comes in from the retreating 09 to deny him a chance to kill off the tie. Andre Gray and Ben Waine look at him as if to say, just square the ball, I could have rolled it into the net. But as George Hall was about to pull the trigger, the firing pin was pulled out by Luke O'Nien.
Yeah, I think he's just overrun it, and it's on his left side. I wouldn't say he's overly comfortable taking that shot on there, but I think he's got no choices. It's just running away, and you're right, if he can just square it, I think Andre gets a tap in. But a brilliant breakaway. George Hall's pace just causes so many problems for Sunderland.
A second goal here would lift the roof off the place, I'll tell you that right now. 1-0 it remains, 82 minutes gone. George Hall spotting up this corner. Xhaka waits to enter the fray for Sunderland. George Hall's ball in towards the near post. Quite frankly, awful corner. It's the worst piece of play from any Vale player all afternoon, just to stick your corner at such a crucial time into the side netting.
Yeah, we'll let him away with that one, Phil. He's been brilliant again this year for me, George Hall. Maybe underused, maybe not even found his best position, but every time he's on the pitch, he's just so direct.
Well, the boos that you can hear are from the Sunderland fans, because Chris Rigg, who is something of a crowd favourite, has gone off to be replaced by Granit Xhaka. And I tell you something, I've not noticed it. He's massive. Look at the size of him. He's huge.
Yeah, he's not just tall. He's so thick-set, and he's so wide. I mean, look at his shoulders. He's stood next to Funzo Ojo. Funzo looks like a 12-year-old.
I was going to say, it looks like he's played under-12s football next to an adult there. Xhaka on the ball now for Sunderland. Exchanges passes with Lefay. Tries to play one through the middle. Geertruida out wide to the right to Diarra. He's going to take on Campbell here. We'll take him on for pace. He'll stick across to the back post. It comes off him. It'll go behind. Will it go out for a corner? No, sorry, for a goal kick or for a throw. I think it went out the wrong side of the flag, so it's is it a throw? I can't work out for me because the referee didn't indicate either way. Goal kick.
I think it's a goal kick, yeah.
I actually thought Campbell may have got a little touch on that and it was a corner.
We'll take it, won't we?
Yeah. VAR isn't here to help me out with that, unfortunately. Some good it is. And now there is a few boos because there are two balls on the pitch. One that was the original match ball and one that Joe Gauci went to get off a cone, which of course eats away a few more precious seconds. And Gauci, who has made several crucial saves today, Joe Gauci, after an early scare when he got out-muscled on a corner and then Sunderland hit the post. He's done pretty well since then, and he goes up looking for Wayne, headed infield by Lefay. Connor Hall measures a pass looking for Andre Gray, takes it on his chest, but Lefay wins it back and Lefay goes down. Looks like he turned his ankle as Ojo tries to curve it out to the right looking for Wayne. It's cleared away. Gabriel will let the ball trickle out for a throw, and the important thing, as Gabriel, as you can see now, is that the tempo stays high.
Yeah, and the crowd stay right behind the team. I mean, this is a huge 6 minutes plus added on time now. I mean, Granit Xhaka comes on, but I'm not sure he can do an awful lot from holding midfield position. Vale defending resolutely. You've just got to stay high up the pitch and not vacate areas now. Just force Sunderland to almost play out of the way that they've really tried within this game. The more direct they go and the higher a line we keep, as long as we're competing, we should be able to see this out. And the way they've performed after this afternoon, you'd have to say that looks most likely now.
Just over 5 minutes to go, plus stoppages here at Vale Park in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Somewhere where Port Vale haven't been for 30 years. And they are beating Premier League Sunderland by a goal to nil. It has been a nail-biting afternoon as the ball goes over the top looking for Angulo, and Gauci will once again let it roll behind. And dare I say it, Adam, but the Premier League side have gone a little bit long ball.
Well, they have. I mean, those straight ones as well, they're so difficult to hit. You're much easier hitting an angled ball to a runner than a straight one, and it's just so difficult to time it and get it right. And like you just said, Angulo's so trying to get through there. There's just absolutely no chance.
Well, there's a chap down the front who is trying to get the Lawn Street stand, which is traditionally the most sedate of all the stands, on their feet, and unfortunately he's just been on his own, but he's clearly had it. Probably had a couple too to enhance his courage at half time, but he's enjoying himself if nobody else is. Vale 1, Sunderland 0 here. We're now less than 5 minutes to go in the 5th round of the FA Cup. If Vale make it, if they do, they will be in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time since 1954, since the Iron Curtain defence, since all those days way back when that your dad and your granddad used to tell you about. They've not been seen here for many a year. We could be 6 minutes away from just that. Isidore now out to Angulo. Sunderland playing the ball around well. Ballard. George Hall goes over to meet him, misses his challenge. Geertruida to Ballard. Sunderland pushed so many players forward now. Geertruida looking to put the cross in. George Hall blocks him. Xhaka out to Diarra, who can't seize on the ball. It'll go out for a goal kick. Brilliant. And that's summed up Sunderland's afternoon.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not sure Xhaka coming on is an outstanding player and done far more than any of us could ever imagine in football, but he's come on with 5 minutes to go. He looks sloppy there. Managers rightly making a change. I'm so glad for Ben Waine. I mean, he deserved that goal today. He's been brilliant for a number of months now. He epitomises the passion that you need to show to play for this football club, and he's rightly getting his rewards.
Off he goes to be replaced by Grant Ward. And Ben Waine, if his goal is the goal that secures an FA Cup quarter-final, he will go down in history, folklore, for what he's achieved. 8 goals in 19 games for Ben Waine. After being polite to him, not being able to hit a barn door for the first half of the season, he suddenly turned his goal tally into something phenomenal. Eli Campbell, I didn't learn that in Everton's academy. That's a scuffed clearance down the left side, and it just about bounced out to play for a Sunderland throw. 87 gone. Vale lead here on BBC Radio Stoke and BBC Sounds by a goal to nil. Xhaka pings a glorious ball out to the left to Angulo. Out they go again. Reece Walters urges McGlaw to come and deal with that and can't. And Reece Walters does really well to shield the ball away from Lefay, who picks it up and goes and puts it on the edge of the 6-yard box for Gauci to take.
Yeah, well, I'm nervous to see what the board... I mean, the last minute now, we've got 1 minute to see what the board is. I can't see it being... it's not certainly going to be 7 or 8 minutes, is it?
Well, you would hope not. Don't think my heart will last that. So... lying in wait for the Vale could well be Liverpool, Southampton, Leeds or Norwich, Arsenal, Chelsea or Manchester City. Who would you like?
I mean,
we're going to get Norwich, aren't we?
Yeah. You take a huge one at home, or quarter-finals, outstanding achievement, you have to say.
Not finished yet though. Sunderland will feel there's still more in this for them. Diarra wide on the right, Isidore in the middle, out wide to Geertrude on the right, Campbell across to meet him, roll back to Xhaka, puts a lovely ball in. It should be Gauci's. He doesn't need to catch it because Granit Xhaka, with World Cup appearances, Premier League titles and FA Cups under his belt, has just stuck a League 2 pass right over the bar.
Anyone can do it, Phil.
Anyone can do it. I don't think they've announced it, but I think they've just put up on the screen that Jordan Gabriel has been given player of the match. I don't think I've heard that announcement, but, well, he's deserved it today, Gabriel.
I think anybody could. I mean, there were a number of players who could have had it. Jordan Gabriel, I completely agree, been outstanding, but I think there's been so many this afternoon that could have got man in the match.
Not over yet. Mayenda tries to touch it to Diarra. Eli Campbell, safety first, just anywhere will do, smacks it deep into touch. The fourth official is about to put up how much time we will have added on at the end of this nail-biting FA Cup tie. 6 minutes of time to be added on. Sunderland will see that as 6 minutes for another chance. For Vale, it'll feel like 60 years. Sunderland emboldened by it.
Yeah, I don't know where they got 6 minutes from.
Well, it will feel longer. Gabriel's done really well, taken the ball off Angulo, who's pushed him in the back and gone down and won a free kick. And listen to that, it's like he scored another goal.
Yeah, brilliant from Jordan Gabriel, 1v1 there. He just his athleticism, even at this level, is outstanding. Playing against a Premier League winger who so quick, goes both ways, but Jordan's just stood his ground.
Listen to this. What an atmosphere. When the final whistle goes in 5 minutes time, this place is going to explode, I'll tell you. Because there's a whole generation of supporters who haven't seen anything like this. Handball by 09 as Andre Gray tried to take the ball past him. Vale have got a free kick deep in Sunderland territory. I'm getting to the point where I'm lost for words here because I didn't think this had happened.
No, I think we thought Sunderland at least score 1 goal, didn't we? And we Art and Heads were probably telling us different things, but Vale, I have to say, been the better side. That's not being biased, I think Vale have been the better side.
If you've just joined us, we are into stoppage time. League One Port Vale, bottom of League One Port Vale, are beating 11th placed in the Premier League Sunderland by a 1-0. And they have deserved it. They have deserved it because they have worked so hard. Here's Gabriel to Andre Gray. Oh, and it's just wide of the target. It could have been 2. Gabriel worked so hard as Sunderland were trying to play out in the corner to win the ball back, and all of a sudden came away with the ball, played it to Gray, and Gray hit a lovely curling effort, had the keeper reaching at air just wide of his right hand post. Ballard up now to try and win the flick on. Connor Hall gets it clear. Sunderland head it back up towards the Vale penalty area. Away by Ojo. It'll come for Ballard. It'll come for Guiatera, trying to get his shot away. And away by Eli Campbell. Out to Lefay, who hits it well over the bar. And that is celebrated like a second goal for the Vale.
I mean, you've put Ballard up there, and he undoubtedly he's won both headers as they've gone forward, and Vale are sort of dropping, and it's come out to Lefay, and he's sat up. Vale are so deep that he's got time to put out his feet and get his shot off. But I mean, it's absolutely horribly high and wide, and he just crumbles to his knees.
No one's going home. No one's sitting down. No one can believe it. But Vale could be on their way to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Gauci takes the kick. A sign goes up on the big screen. Please do not enter the field of play. You'll be lucky, because there'll be a lot of people I think will want to get on after this. Sunderland trying to play their way out from the back now with the goalkeeper. Elborg goes long in the end, goes looking for Ballard. Gabriel pushes him away from the ball. Angulo on the halfway line, left side, looks to play it out towards the left to Alderete. Magloire with him. And Grant Ward now trying to take it off, but Alderete has kept the ball well. Lefay. Grant Ward though goes and puts in the challenge and gets it away. Ojo, Andre Gray ahead of him. Thought about playing it to him, but he will find George Hall. No flag, but then Diarra gets in front of him, and Andre Gray desperately wanted that. The referee will give a free kick for George Hall's foul on Diarra, but Andre Gray, I think he would have been offside, but he was desperate for that ball to be played through the middle.
Yeah, maybe. I think anyone else other than Diarra that's chasing George Hall back there, and George Hall gets away from him.
There's one or two worried faces around Vale Park. Kyle John trying to get the ball away, and it out to Campbell on the left, who hoofs it clear. Away it goes. The worried faces are worried about how they're going to fit all these games in. Good work, Andre Gray, who dispossesses Diarra, and Vale could break. Here's Rhys Walters, gets past Lefay, looks to touch it to the right. It should be the keeper's, who's come a long way out of his goal, and Grant Ward was chasing it. Elborg punts it into the stands. There's some tired legs out there, but there's no tired minds.
No, a massive bit of play, and I think Rhys Walters driving forward. He does the right thing. He tries to put it into an area. It's wide of the goalkeeper's 18-yard box, which means he's got to come and clear it to just put it out for a throw-in.
There are people in the crowd who are holding their hands. They can't look. It's like when you're watching a horror film on the telly and you know something bad's going to happen, because such is the way of Port Vale. Something bad always happens, so people are watching behind their fingers. If they're at home, I know there's people who'll have their cushion in front of their face and they'll be worried that it'll all go wrong. But at the minute, it isn't. Vale have got the ball in the corner flag at the Sunderland end, but Gabriel can't keep it in play. It'll go for a Sunderland goal kick. We are not far away. 95 minutes and 20 seconds gone of the 96 we are due to play. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0. High ball over the top, looks for Ballard, heads it down. Ojo gets there, Gabriel will clear. It's nearly there. It's Xhaka. It's out to Diarra on the right. Vale have just got to hold on. Diarra's cross out by Walters, scuffed away by Ojo, out into touch. Less than 20 seconds left. You can feel it. You can feel it's going to happen. It should happen, but will it happen? Sunderland throw, midway inside the Vale half, right side. It could be their last throw of the dice. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out by Campbell. Referee blows up. Vale make it through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. A Herculean effort from John Brady's team means that they will reach the last 8 of the competition for the first time since 1954. It is a day for which history is made. It's a day that Ben Waine will never never forget. It is a day that Port Vale will never forget. They are in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Adam Yates, what an afternoon.
Wow, absolutely unbelievable. I can't remember a more deserving performance for a long time from Vale. Absolutely outstanding in terms of defending, the desire, the passion. After what so far has been a really difficult season in the league, the cup games have just given us something extra, and the passion, the desire, the defending, the professionalism this afternoon, absolutely brilliant, and fully deserved for John and the players and the owners, I have to say, and Matt Hancock, who's taken a lot of stick recently. They deserve this.
The lowest ranked team left in the competition make it through. They put to the sword the lowest ranked team in the first round. Now they themselves are the giant killers. They have put Sunderland to the sword. They have given this crowd, all 10,000 of them today, a day to remember, and an FA Cup quarter-final on the way. Who can believe it? Who can believe it? I certainly can't. Bring me down from the roof, Lucas Yeomans, because the Vale are FA Cup quarter-finalists.
I'm right there with you, Phil Bowers. Port Vale are through to the quarter-final of the FA Cup. They have beaten Premier League side Sunderland by a 1-0, and every single Port Vale player has earned their place into the next round. Adam Yates.
Just a wonderful atmosphere, wonderful feeling, wonderful experience. Like I just said to Phil, I think it's been a really difficult year in the league, and there have been so many lows, and I don't remember feeling as low at some points as I felt with Port Vale as I have done through the year. But this afternoon, fully deserved for the players, the manager, the fans, absolutely more than anybody. But like I just said, the owners and Matt, they've had taken some stick this year, and this is a bit of a nod to them and the fans for sticking by the team and deserving an afternoon like this. So yes, fantastic performance. Rightly so, they were the better team this afternoon, and you can't say that they didn't deserve it. There are times when you're playing in cup games and you have to ride your luck. Yes, that's happened this afternoon, but Vale were not second best all afternoon. They were the better side, and they fully deserved it.
Wonder if you rings out. Feels rude to interrupt it, really. It's I think you've nailed it with what you said. This is a really special moment in what was at risk of being a season to forget, and now it won't be.
No, and listen, it's a real tall order in the league. But you look at Ben Wayne at the moment, being interviewed on the pitch live, and he for me is somebody that you'd look at this moment in time and think he gives everything for the club. He runs himself into the ground. He's not affiliated with the club in any way other than being a player, but he epitomises what we want to see as a working class community, as a League One football club, as people that want desire and passion and professionalism and on the pitch. And I'm glad he's got his goal, because he's taken some stick this year. He's not played much. He's really come into his own these last 2 months. And if you were going to bet on somebody to score today in the Vale team, you'd have said it'd been him. So really well done to him, and I'm glad he's got going. Glad that the club feels like it's rocking, and for a club to be bottom of League One and still have this type of atmosphere on cup games tells you a lot about the fans.
How jealous are you of the Port Vale players that
I'm very jealous. I wish I was on that pitch, but listen, they deserve it. They defended brilliantly, Lucas, and there have been times this year where I've been critical. I cannot praise them enough this afternoon.
This is a sort of game as well that I think Phil mentioned in his commentary. There's a real big moment, isn't there, for these Port Vale fans and these Port Vale players, that no matter what happens in the league campaign now, there's going to be a connection with these, and that was gone, that was lost, and there's something here now, something very special here today.
There is, and what I would say is they've got to take this into the league game. This atmosphere that the fans have created, the players have created, this connection you're talking about today, this needs to be apparent every week, and the players have got a responsibility to make that happen. The fans have got a responsibility to continue to support and do what they do so well, which is they create an atmosphere within the stadium that is that is special and you know, can be intimidating for opposition teams. And we've seen a Premier League team come here this afternoon and be second best all over the pitch, and that tells you around what the squad can be. You know, they've not performed like they should this year. They've gone, you know, 120% of where they should be this afternoon, and when you perform the way they did, and I said it in the commentary numerous times, if Vale had performed all season like they did this afternoon, they would not be, you know, in the bottom four. I believe they'd be comfortable in mid-table.
Ben Waine, fair play, Ben Waine.
He's such a likeable guy as well. I mean, I've become a Ben Waine fan. I don't even speak to him. I mean, I sit and watch him. I think his work rate's incredible. I actually spoke to a couple of clubs in January who rang me up and asked me about taking him on loan. A couple of League Two clubs, so I obviously won't name who they are.
He said, "Get lost."
I said, they asked me whether they should take him, and I said to him, if you can get him, go and get him, because he'll run himself in the ground. He's got all the attributes